They say there was no red wave. Well, I don't care what they say. I think there was. I mean, the Republicans won 5 million more votes in the popular vote, and they won where they needed to in the House. Now the Republicans have announced they've launched an investigation of Joe Biden. This is not just of Hunter Biden. It is of the Biden crime family. At least that's what's trending on Twitter. I know it's a little silly because it kind of makes it seem like the Bidens are competent. But yeah, Joe and Hunter are implicated in a bunch of crimes. The craziest revelation, I suppose, and I guess we kind of knew this, but to hear them say it, the Biden family is implicated in human trafficking. Seriously, this guy's the president? Okay, that'll get interesting. So we definitely got to talk about that. But we also need to talk about Nancy Pelosi. She's out. Nancy Pelosi has announced she will not seek the Democratic leadership, but she's going to stay in Congress for the time being. But basically, nothing. There you go. Bye-bye. Nancy Pelosi fired. So, hey, congratulations, midterm. This is what happens when you get your friends, you go out and you vote. Now all you got to do is get ready for that ballot harvesting stuff. So we got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about all that. But before we do, my friends, head over to establishedtitles.com/Timcast IRL. You can get one of these really cool things right here. It's a plaque. I'm a lord. Lord Tim Pool. I expect everyone to use my proper title. No, but established titles is basically you buy a piece of land in the Scottish woodlands, and then it makes you a Scottish lord. Establishedtitles.com/Timcast IRL. And they say it's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. So if you're a lady, you can be lady officially. Their title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. To add to that, they're also a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. They'll actually plant a tree with every order, working with global charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes walking distance. Very cool. Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale right now. And if you use the code TimcastIRL, you get an additional 10% off. So go to establishedtitles.com/TimcastIRL. Get your gifts now. It's a cool thing you can send people. You can get stuff in their name. And, I got mine right here. So, very, very cool. Thank you, Established Titles, for sponsoring the show. Establishedtitles.com/TimcastIRL. Don't forget, head over to timcast.com, become a member, support the show directly. We're going to have a members-only show coming up for you after the main show ends. So we usually post those around 11 p.m. They're a lot of fun, not family-friendly, uncensored, all that good stuff. So don't forget to smash that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel. Share the show if you really do like it. Word of mouth is the most powerful way to overcome the censorship. Joining us tonight, we have 2 amazing guests. We've got Ashley St Clair.
Hello, hello.
Who are you?
I am, a professional online crap poster. But more importantly,
keeping it family friendly.
Yeah, I don't want you to get nuked online. But I'm over at the Babylon Bee. I do operations over there.
Oh, very cool.
And get in trouble for my tweets.
It's called Fecal Matter Poster.
I'm a fecal matter poster.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And we also have Dave Landau.
Hi, I'm chewing.
Why are you chewing? What are you eating?
I'm professional.
Those are Ian's rocks. Don't eat them. Stop.
I thought they were magic. I'm playing Magic the Gathering with his stuff.
He's going to start tripping in 2 minutes.
No. Yeah. Oh, there's acid in this.
There would be. There would be. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him talking about acid with Milo on the show the other day. They were having an argument.
Yes, Milo just basically told him his brain was broken, and Ian just went,
Yeah, I was like, no, I agree. I'd done a lot of acid, and I was like, he's right. They're both right.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't disagree. So, also, I'm Serge.com. What's up, guys? How are you?
We got Luke.
BidenFetterman.com is the website. It's a real website. You could go to it right now. If you don't, you're a bigot, ableist, and racist.
Did you actually get BidenFetterman.com?
BidenFetterman.com is an official website filled with memes, filled with Twitter posts, filled with shorts, and filled with this amazing, incredible merchandise. I started a movement a couple months ago, and I have a lot of good allies on my team. First, it's Michael Malice. Then it's MSNBC. This is a movement of the people that cannot be stopped. It's an absolute no-brainer. Biden Fetterman 2024.
I can't believe you actually got that website.
And the crazy thing is, Biden Fetterman 2024 was not available. BidenFetterman.com was available. We got it. Check that website out. And by doing so, you support my efforts here. So thank you so much for doing so. BidenFetterman.com.
The car salesman slogan is fantastic.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
All right, let's talk about the talk about the news from Newsweek. From Newsweek, of all sources.
I know.
Republicans tie Hunter Biden to human trafficking, announced probe. Let me pause right there. They explicitly stated this is an investigation of Joe Biden. So Newsweek, they're talking about it, but they're trying to, maybe the goal with the article is to be like, it's Hunter, not Joe.
Right.
But, I'll be specific. They said they were announcing an investigation into Joe. They didn't specifically say Joe Biden was trafficking people, although I think he was with the illegal immigrants.
Yes, he was.
Well, yeah, okay, never mind, he was.
Was this broken by Geek Squad or who did it?
Which one?
It just depends on the source. Which was it a computer that was returned? Like, who knows?
Oh, I see.
Where did they get the intel?
Actually, I think it was
The tons
some
of
Republicans
videos.
in Tennessee who filmed the children being trafficked on U.S. military planes around the country by the Biden administration. So,
Oh, right.
No,
Okay.
I mean he literally was trafficking children.
Yes. Oh, good for him. I thought it was the Hunter sex Russian prostitute thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I mean, yes.
I don't mean to
but-
not keep
mean-
it clean for the family-friendly people watching. It's just
they're
that's what
called
he
ladies
did.
of the night.
I'm sorry,
and
you're right.
and Hunter Biden did love ladies of the night, particularly from Russia, which a lot of people were going crazy about, specifically speculating that Donald Trump had relations with in some kind of hotel rooms. But again, here we actually have some real life proof of Hunter Biden taking videos and photos of some absolutely crazy behavior that do violate a lot of laws.
Lady of the night. I mean, I feel like it's archaic. Maybe something like adult physical therapist.
Lady who puts down a tarp,
Yeah.
couch wrecker.
Well,
What?
but they can work during the day. I mean, I think a lot of these videos of Hunter were,
During the day?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just
That's
adult
true.
physical therapy. We'll just call it that.
Some
you get
bled
it.
into mourning. I mean, literally bleeding.
I love that he vlogged the whole thing too. The
That's
whole
so
thing
weird.
is
That's the
well
weirdest thing about
documented.
it.
He's like
He's like the new David Dobrik. He's an artist. He's ahead of his times, and it's really incredible. The Cimata Verte that he presented to the general public. Truly an artist of our time.
He kept
my
a lot of
favorite
people
is the
working.
Eminem photo. If you haven't seen the Eminem
Yeah.
photo,
I haven't.
he was measuring
The
a
book?
member of his with M&Ms.
Yep.
What?
And Hunter took a picture of it. He was
I don't want to look at those pictures.
And he was
Oh,
using
it's the
mini
best.
M&Ms.
It's
to
the
make it
best.
bigger.
I was like, this is gonna be my wallpaper.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, well let's see what they're talking about.
Well, they're specifically looking into a number of charges. They're looking to see if they could charge him with conspiracy or defrauding the United States, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, violation of the Foreign Corruption Practices Act, violation of the Victims of Trafficking and Violence Protection Act of 2000, tax evasion, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Those are the
Joe?
charges. Those are what they're looking into.
Joe?
I think Hunter and Joe, since this
They
Newsweek
said-
article, Newsweek article talks about how they had bank accounts that were commingled together. They obviously also shared phone numbers. They obviously also were in business together. It's pretty clear, no matter how many times Joe Biden tries to deny this, it's very clear that there was a lot of communication, a lot of back and forth business dealings, a lot of Air Force Two, a lot of lucrative contracts in Ukraine and in China that he was not supposed to get, that he got, along, of course, with his vlogging of smoking crack, being with ladies of the night, and having firearms everywhere. One firearm that he left outside of a school zone, which he got in trouble for.
In a trash can.
In a trash can. Thank
Right
you.
on
Thank
top
you,
of the
Dave.
garbage.
I appreciate
At least he
it.
tried
Yes.
to hide it.
I just want to simplify
The way George tried to hide a cannoli on Seinfeld.
I just want to simplify this for everybody really quick. Outside of all of this, I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of people on the left or Democrats desperately trying to defend Joe, being like, "This is nonsense. It's fake news. It's so preposterous." But they shared bank accounts, and right there is the morsel of whoa. Because let me tell you something. I tried to buy my mom like a toaster, and my accountant is like, "You can't do that. Like you cannot have like." You give something to somebody, it is a gift. It is tracked. It goes towards that. If you share a bank account, you're making it basically impossible to track how much you're giving to another person. There's no circumstance where I guess if Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were both officers of a corporation or something like that, and they both had executive access to a bank account, that could make sense. But hey, hold on there a minute. That would mean that Joe Biden lied and was directly involved in business with his son. Otherwise, it just sounds like some weird, at the very least, tax evasion or income commingling, which is already a problem.
Well, the human trafficking is definitely related to the ladies of the night. He bought a lot of them, and especially from Eastern Europe. Who knows? If some people might speculate that he was swallowed. That's also another possibility here. But
no, he was
that's charges
picking them
alone.
he was picking them out like it was a Wendy's menu. He was saying, "I don't like this one. Take the lettuce off of that one." He really
Line
was
them up
picking.
by
He
shapes
was
and
picking
sizes.
them out on these text messages.
Yeah.
It was well documented.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
Tim, I do want to say, you said the left is going to come out and say it's not true. I don't know that they're going to say much of anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to ignore it. Because that's what they do when these things come out, that there's a mountain of evidence, they just ignore it.
Hey, at
They
least
didn't really
we
seem
have.
like spies, though, did they?
Well, who knows?
Well,
At the end
there
of
were
the
a
day.
lot of them.
Yeah,
You'd
exactly.
How much intel are you going to get with really just a half hour each?
Yeah, but the caveat here, at least we give big tech social media something to censor in the future. Just like the Hunter Biden laptop story, at least now we're going to have the censors at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram busy with more work. So at least, they're going to have something to do.
I hear you, but I'm actually kind of optimistic. Facebook came out and said they're not going to be fact checking Trump's campaign because he's running or something like that. Elon Musk buys Twitter. So I'm kind of like, I think maybe the extremists shot their shot and they can't keep that up. At a certain point, you're trying to hold back a river and the dam bursts.
Yes.
They censor everything. We all know the scandal of the Hunter Biden laptop censorship. They can't pull that off again. I mean,
Can they?
Well, it's filled with
Maybe.
everything he just said. So it's
Right.
like if they can bring on the
And-
charges, I mean, yes.
But
it's
look,
there.
with Republicans controlling the House, if all we get is Nancy Pelosi is fired and they launch this investigation alone is going to make it impossible. YouTube took down C-SPAN videos of Rand Paul talking because he said a naughty name.
No.
Now, if they're all saying it, they can't just... If YouTube started banning C-SPAN outright, people might be like, hey, wait a minute. They took down one video and hoped nobody noticed. They took down a Fox News video and hoped that nobody noticed. But if they're going to have a committee putting out videos, if they're going to have a January 6th style inquiry, ain't nothing they can do about it.
Well, C-SPAN After Dark's pretty hot.
I hope they do a J6 trial for this, a J6 style investigation. They should do the whole 9. They should put the Hunter Biden laptop contents on the screen for the whole world to see.
I don't know about that.
If
It's
we
never
had to
going to
see it,
happen
so do
on
I.
C-SPAN.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe
it's
on
damning
C-SPAN.
evidence. It's
Well,
all
they might.
there. It's all vlogged by Hunter Biden on crack. It's all there.
That's a lot to see, though.
My favorite C-SPAN After Dark was when all the Democrats called in saying they were quitting the party. Do you guys remember
Yes.
that? That was crazy. It was a few years ago. But it was just like, I remember pulling the video up and pressing play, and it was just a guy being like, I don't know what they're doing. They lost their minds. I'm voting Republican now. And I'm like, wow.
But there's also a possibility that we might find something even more sinister. I think there's a big probability for this as well, because when we look at what's been happening throughout the last few years, the FBI knew a lot of this was happening. They had the laptop. They had interviews with Tony Bobolinsky. They chose to, of course, censor and cover it up. What was inside of that laptop? What are also the very weird photos with children inside of that laptop, which I think is something that could essentially be something that will shock the American public to the point where there's no returning from it. And I think there's a possibility of that happening.
Maybe the game is to slow roll it to the point where everyone's heard a little bit without getting shocked too much. So when they finally come out and admit it, everyone's going to be like, well, yeah, dude, we know.
Well, they also raided Giuliani's house, and he's like, it's right here. And they're like, no, we came for everything else.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Where's
He
your-
had the laptop. He had the Hunter Biden laptop
holding it.
with the weird photos of the children.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
It's not
It would have
just
been funny
Hunter,
if
though.
it would have been funny if they arrested Giuliani for possession.
Yeah, just
They're like, oh, you got those images, but it's but you got it.
yeah, it's on you.
It's
Child
not just
porn.
Hunter, though. It's also, that whole family's disturbed. All of his children
Yeah.
are very disturbed. They
The
blew
diaries
off.
are a
the,
lot.
The Ashley Biden diary was one of the most disturbing things I ever read. And after I read it, I felt bad.
Yeah, I have
felt
the
very
quote
bad.
here, but I don't think we could read it online. To be honest.
She
Almost
was
as
very
spicy as
disturbed. She
Medea's.
talks about showering with her father. That whole family is disturbing. All of
she
his
talked
kids are
about
Her
her
disturbed.
grandfather, right? Like with
Grandfather,
Joe.
yeah.
She talked about how she had to shower at night because she was afraid Biden was going to
Yes.
come into the shower with her.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's literally in there.
What if when Biden broke his leg, it wasn't the dog, but like his granddaughter?
It was.
Or some kind of child fighting back. Be like, no, could be. Who knows nowadays, especially with, the island that they all go to, especially, since the island closed down, they got to,
I think he was probably just fighting back the nurses. He's like, don't put it in again. I'm ready to go.
He
Stop
does have
pumping me
very
up.
powdery bones. I mean, that man is not filled with calcium.
Remember when during the Alex Jones trial, the prosecution was like, you think that the powerful global elites are trafficking children? And he goes, what, you mean like Epstein did with the Clintons?
Yeah,
and then they made the Thug Life video. Now, if anyone ever brings that up, they're like, oh, you believe some weird conspiracy about, elites trafficking people? I'll be like, you mean like the investigation the Republicans have open into the Biden family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, look, you can call it a conspiracy, but then you have to contend with the fact that the majority of Congress is investigating that. So, they're a cult. Like, I rewatched that Sam Harris clip where he's like, there is nothing on the Hunter Biden laptop that is bad as Trump University. And I'm like, my guy, there's like illicit pictures of children. You're saying that Donald Trump scammed some people out of cash. The Bidens are implicated in human trafficking. Sam Harris, he lost his mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big L.
And like you compare the two. There's no comparison.
What about Trump's steaks?
Not bad, actually. Not bad, actually. And you know what's funny, too? I remember...
I wasn't serious.
Well, no. Look. During Trump's campaign, they were saying that all of his businesses failed, and it was the weirdest thing.
I know.
They were like, what happened to Trump Water? What happened to Trump Steaks or Trump Magazine? And I was sitting in Trump Doral in Florida looking at a bottle of Trump Water with a Trump Magazine and a menu showing Trump Steak. And I'm like, do these people not understand that the companies he started are suppliers for his hotels? Like, he doesn't sell Trump Steak in the grocery store. He's making his own stuff, so he lowers his costs.
Right.
It's just so insane. And I think out of like 500 businesses, 5 went bankrupt. And so they're like, look at all his bankruptcies. It's okay, dude. You believe you Google it. Okay, come on. They don't even do that.
No, it's sad.
Very sad.
When you have other billionaires that were just kind of mad about it because he was president, and it was kind of it was fun to watch them project how angry they were because they didn't think it would happen.
Yeah.
So you just had like Mark Cuban, like, it's all failed. It's like, you're upset. You're Mark Cuban.
Yeah. Let's talk about this next story. If there's anything good that came out of these midterms, Nancy Pelosi will step down as Democratic House Leader.
Finally.
Oh, yeah. All right. Pelosi, you're out. You're fired. And, okay. She says she wants to make room for the next generation. And it's just as bad. They're the same. Who's it, Hank Jeffries or something? So, I don't know, man. Are you guys... She's fired.
Well,
Can we be
she's
happy?
got to go spend more time at home so Paul stops picking up young men.
Is that what he was doing?
Well, it's a theory. You don't want to say for sure, but maybe. He got hit with a hammer by one. I heard. By somebody.
Maybe, possibly.
By a man
depends
in
on
his
which
underwear.
Yes, he may have been.
No. They changed that story.
Oh,
He
really?
wasn't in his underwear.
Oh, so it's just.
I think Paul was in his underwear, actually.
You bring a feral cat in the house and you want it to be nice, but it's got a hammer.
That is sad too, because I kind of get it. We have Bocus. He's our cat.
Yeah.
And he was initially a stray, and he just pisses all over the floor all the time.
Right.
And like, there's no training him. He'll just like walk and then he'll look you in the eyes and just let her rip. So I get it when Paul brings in these guys and he's like a crazy hippie and he's like, we're gonna have a good time, crack in the head with a hammer.
So who was the third party that opened the door? Didn't it end up being him?
Yeah. But what were you saying before? There was a young man in his car.
So that's what I heard, that when he got arrested for the DUI, there was another man with him. There was a young man with him when he got arrested
DUI
there.
was dropped.
Was
It was
it?
dropped?
Yeah, it was.
it
I
dropped?
heard it was dropped. I could be wrong.
But
I
that's
heard
what
it
he was
dropped.
arrested for, right?
He was
Yes.
Whether it
entertaining a
was-
young
yeah.
man.
I don't know
Yes.
what they were doing.
Getting away from Nancy. Who caught them wrestling.
In their underwear.
Yes.
it's a very popular
Over
sport,
a-
and a lot of people are doing it.
Over a hammer.
I think it's about time that she left, though. I mean, she was getting pretty incoherent as well.
Oh, that's called addiction to benzos
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
and painkillers. That's why
She has to be on something.
she's on everything. Listen to her when she walks. Just sounds
Well,
like a
I
maraca.
think she's a drunk, right?
Yo, for sure.
I don't know. People have said that. I mean, her husband, I think, he got in a car accident.
Well, when Biden did the speech and then she stood up and was like dancing behind him when he was talking about like people dying, and then she realized, she was like, oh, this isn't the part where I celebrate. That's when I realized, like, oh, this is just a drunk woman at a tennis club who doesn't really know where she is.
I think the point at which she probably should have retired. That's why she started talking like this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, come on.
So
like,
05.
yeah, no, I'm not even kidding. It's
Yeah.
like,
So Who's going to be the next Who's going to be the next Nancy Pelosi for them, though?
I think it's this guy, what is his name? Hank Jeffries? Is that his name? Am I getting his name wrong? You guys probably know in the chat. I don't know. Some election denying far left lunatic, whatever.
He denies the election?
Oh, they all do. They all did. I mean, like every single Democrat denied the election. There was a Snopes article I saw. I think it was PolitiFact, and I'm not sure who said it. Might have been Lee Zeldin or something. Said that Democrats have objected or rejected the results of every Republican president going back like several decades or something. And then they were like, mostly true. And it's like, how is that not true? They literally do. They get up and they say, this is illegitimate. There was voters who were disenfranchised or whatever. And then we're supposed to just act like they're not lying when they call other people election deniers or something.
We do it one time and had one party at the Capitol and everything.
That's what they're waiting for. But that's the thing we were talking about.
9/11-2 is what you're referring to.
We were talking about it earlier, that the left acts like it doesn't happen. If the Hunter Biden laptop stuff, it comes out, it's a mountain of evidence. We can all see it. They just plug their ears, close their eyes, and walk away, and then say, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about."
Yep.
And that's it. So we're supposed to engage with that. I don't know. This is why my attitude has kind of just been like, let's perhaps ignore them and let them just play by themselves with dolls in the corner or something.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because they seem when left alone, they do a lot of crazy fun stuff that we can just bring up later.
Yeah. Like Fetterman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We elected Frankenstein. I'm for, by the way. I want to say.
Oh, you're on the team.
Awesome. I am on Team Fetterman.
Keeps getting stronger by the day. It's awesome.
Beginning. So I think he's better than Oz, but that's just a different story.
Is it like an accelerationist thing?
Well, I mean, I think that's why a lot of people voted for Trump in the beginning. They're like, let the system burn down. Let it burn down quick. Might as well put all the crazy people might as well put all the incompetent people in there. I mean, they can't do worse than all the crazy sociopathic people, right?
That's what I'm saying. I was saying Antifa for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm telling these Antifa people, like, hey, you guys are going out and throwing bricks through windows. That's not going to do anything. They got insurance. It's going to cost them a couple grand. They're going to fix it. Here's what you do. Vote for Trump, right? Now, I know Trump supporters are like, but hold on there a minute. Trump's going to fix the country. Sure, but that's not what they think. They think he's going to burn it down.
Right.
So just, vote for him. What do you got to lose?
Yeah, you're already ruining the country. Why not vote towards it?
It's a sinking ship. What, are you going to try to save it?
Yeah, come on. Stop it.
So, Antifa for Biden Fetterman.
Well, you made a great point. Can he drive? We don't know.
I don't think Fetterman can drive.
I believe they take your license for that.
Yes. After you have a stroke in Pennsylvania,
and
they take your license.
That's not that's not being ableist. We're just saying a fact.
I mean, a little bit. Like, if you can't drive, you probably shouldn't be in Senate.
I mean, I don't think Nancy Pelosi can drive, can she?
Well,
her husband definitely can.
Well, not after not after her morning mimosa.
Oh, right. That's what I mean. Basically, she's old and she drinks too much, and so she's got someone driving for her.
Yeah, she shouldn't drive.
Isn't there like a law where they take your license after a certain age or something?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
They take your license after a certain age?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it depends on the state.
Yeah, it depends on the state.
Right.
So.
Florida, you can drive forever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's because
of there.
A lot of retirees down there, they're not going to entertain people voting away their right to drive or whatever.
No,
but
totally.
there are a lot of sad stories of people who, like, their eyesight goes and their reflexes, reaction time goes down, and then they're driving a car, and I don't know, man. You got
barber shop.
Well, I mean, I know a crazy story back from my neighborhood of a teenage girl who got hit by an old guy, and then he rolls over her, stops, it panics that he runs something over, so he reverses, crushed her head like a melon.
Oh, no.
If he just went over her, she probably would have had severe injuries, but he crushed her head. And so all that happened, license taken away, no jail.
Oh.
But here's the issue with jail in that circumstance. Is he of the mind to commit a crime, or is he just an old man who should not be driving anymore? And so the attitude, I guess, from law enforcement was, he's not a violent criminal who's trying to hurt people. He's effectively disabled by age. So take his license away, he can't drive anymore, but he's not going to jail for that.
Is that why none of these politicians go to jail for doing everything they shouldn't? They're like, we'll give them a pass. There was no intent. They're just crazy and old.
But that is it often. It's like, well, there was no criminal intent, so, no crime committed.
That's what happens with the human trafficking. They're like, he didn't know. That old rascal.
Yeah, yes. It was Menendez, right? He went out with those, he went to that island. It wasn't Epstein Island, but remember the story? Do you guys know the story about Menendez?
With the,
Where was he? Was he in Puerto Rico or something? And he went to some island, and there were some ladies, and they were a little young, and then he got accused, and the response from his lawyer was, well, it's not illegal where he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he
technically,
denies it, but the lawyer said, like, even if he did do it, it's not illegal. Like, he's in a different country.
I got to call my lawyer.
Do you?
What? Wow, that's disgusting, though. I don't know what are the laws? Well, I guess if you go down to Mexico, there's other laws. You can have donkeys.
Well, yeah, but there's some states, I think, where, like, the age of consent is 16. You know?
Yeah, Michigan's one. It's where I grew
Is it
up.
really?
Yeah.
He goes, I know, I grew up there.
No, I did. It was a good one to have on the books. In high school, not as
You're really leaning into this.
Dave's really going to have to call us.
No, I've been married for a long time.
You look very cold.
I'm really cold.
Do you need a jacket?
I feel like he has the AC on in here.
I think it's actually that nothing's on, and it's like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not tenable.
You do look shaky.
We've got
like a chihuahua.
There's a coat right there.
That is my coat.
Oh, well, there you go. What is this? That's the thing about the air conditioning in the office.
Luke
the
is
women
over here
want
and-
everybody turn the heat on.
Luke is in a blanket.
Oh, thanks for telling everyone my secret.
Luke's blanket.
Damn right. Yeah, I got a blanket. Yeah,
He's a little
I'll own
piggy in
it.
a blanket.
Yeah, it's
I'm
cold
actually
here.
going to grab that coat, though. I'm like real cold.
It's kind of weird to me. I mean, I guess you're wearing a sweater.
Yeah, I just grabbed one from, I don't know where I got it.
I don't know why it's
Walmart.
cold in here. I think it's because the vent just pulls in air from outside or something.
I think it is just, if it's cold outside and you don't have anything on. That's what I do to sleep. I like it cold. Let's talk about that. That's interesting. How do you sleep, Tim?
I put the AC to 32 degrees.
Yeah?
And because if I
A
don't...
little igloo?
Well, so a while back, my fiance was dying of a rare disease.
Okay.
And so I misappropriated corporate funds to try and research cryogenics,
Okay.
keeping her frozen while I tried to find a cure.
Of course.
When he found out, he came in with thugs, threw the chemicals and everything, splashed on me, and now I have to live in freezing temperatures, otherwise I'll die.
Nice.
Yeah. I once tried to. I once broke out of prison, but Batman stopped me.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah,
what Tim's
nice.
trying to do now, keep us all frozen so we stay on the show forever.
Uh-huh. I can't believe we're still talking about this. Let's
I'm
talk
a
about
Mexican
something
that
else.
swam here in the last
Wakanda
movie.
Can we? Oh man, we got to talk about Black Panther.
Yes.
So before the show, I was talking like no one here saw Wakanda Forever, and I was explaining how the villain is basically a Mexican guy who breaks into Wakanda, bypassing their wall by going through the river, and they have to defeat him by drying him off.
Yep.
Like I'm sorry if that was a big spoiler. I don't know, but just like it's been a week now, and it was
Well, and specifically his back goes into flames, you said?
they have to dry him off, and then the final move is they dry his back off.
Yeah, that's killing an Asian with a hard math problem.
I was
racist.
I was sitting there watching this movie, like, yo, woke people were. Let's talk about that later. Let's talk about this
Okay,
right now.
I don't want to offend the crowd.
Because-
There's big Wakanda fans.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna have to ask that Brianna Joy Gray issues an apology for this one. Do you all know the legend of Ligma and Johnson? Ligma and Johnson were two individuals who went to Twitter HQ and walked out carrying boxes and then started telling reporters that they had been fired. And their names were like Rahul Ligma and like Daniel Johnson or something. Get it? Ligma Johnson. And so the media got hoaxed. Elon Musk invited them back in to the, actually, I think I have the tweet right here. Is it right here? Yeah. Elon Musk invited them back to Twitter HQ saying, welcoming back Ligma and Johnson. And then this is a clip from The Hills Rising. Please listen.
I mean, what do you think this is about? Is it because he has created such a poor working environment and has ruined the relationship between him and his employees so much that he's not able to do the job? Because I saw him, he was tweeting out pictures of him standing with two employees who he had fired prematurely and then rehired with his arms around them, kind of like, hey, I know I shouldn't admit to my mistakes. It seems like he's in a desperate situation where he's realized he actually needs somebody, and the single genius myth is just that, a myth, and he actually needs these employees to work for him. And the employees didn't look so happy in that photograph, I gotta say. I mean,
I don't know what this is, Robbie. Robbie, how? Daniel, one of the hoaxers, says, how are we still tricking journalists? How is this still happening?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not sure. Harry Balzania was also there. And I think that she's also just saying, like, fired early. Who's writing it and doesn't know that?
This is amazing.
I love
It's
how
like,
condescending she is. She's like, he thinks he's a genius. Look how stupid he is.
Yeah.
And the Hill's like
Well,
not
I
the
fall for
worst.
all of it.
The Hill Rising used to be Crystal and Sagar.
Right.
And now it's Brianna Joy Gray and Robbie Suave. I feel like these individuals probably don't read. Like,
No, and that's the problem with a lot of the media and a lot of these journalists now is they're not really journalists. They're like commentators on, what's hot and commentating on this photo that Elon Musk posted. It's like very pop culture-y. It's not actual news.
she said she saw the photo. Okay, right?
Yes.
She said that?
Yeah.
The photo says Ligma and Johnson on it.
Yes.
So she read that.
And then said it
went over her head. Poor lady.
Wow.
The poor woman.
Ligma Johnson. Come on.
She's stroking
This is
through
a family-friendly show here. What do you mean, Tim? What are you trying to say here?
I'm trying to say that 12-year-olds are the ones who are pushing this joke.
Yeah, literally. That's unreal.
I maybe that's how it went over her head, but like
She bought it hook, line, and stinker.
Yeah,
this is
What?
the modern state
child.
of yes.
Sorry.
that's embarrassing.
This is the modern state of media, I guess.
This is
It's
sad.
sad.
It's sad.
Yeah,
literally.
And she did a whole piece on it.
Oh man,
She was so
It
proud of
never
herself,
occurred to
too.
her.
She was so emboldened.
Have they apologized?
She woke up and
there's-
read that, and she's like, what an idiot.
This Ligma Johnson guy.
They didn't look happy in the photo.
Yeah, I think that who's this? Is this Ligma?
That's Ligma.
That's Ligma. Does it say Ligma on it actually?
He looks like a Ligma.
Yeah,
the
he
other
is.
guy looks like a Johnson.
Yeah, Daniel. He's got name tags Rahul and Daniel, and that's
Yeah.
Rahul Ligma and Daniel Johnson. He doesn't
Rahul
look
Johnson
happy.
doesn't sound right.
No, right? Yeah, it doesn't.
Rahul Ligma seems.
Rahul Ligma and Johnson. The media got hoaxed the first time. Elon. This is the craziest thing. It's like the people who like what Elon Musk is doing understand the memes, the jokes, the laughing. I don't get it, right? We talk about Nancy Pelosi. We talk about Hunter Biden, the laptop. We know all of these things. How? How do we know these things? And okay, you know what? I'm going to stress this point. The left and the right is not political at all. It is knowledge and ignorance. If you are stupid and not paying attention, you'll find yourself on the left. Mm-hmm. If you are interested and inquisitive, you'll find yourself on the right. And I'm not saying that if you're inquisitive, all of a sudden you're like, I'm pro-life. No, you might end up being someone who's like, actually, I am pro-choice, but yeah, Biden's crooked. You're right wing now.
I'm still laughing because this is not the first time the corporate media made such mistakes. And again, we have to remember, according to YouTube, these are the authoritative sources. We got to believe them no matter what. We got to elevate them over everyone else. Do you remember the Something Wong airplane crash that happened?
That was great.
And
We too
they
low?
literally,
We too low. Yeah.
holy fook,
Yeah,
and
so
bang
good.
ding ooh. Literally, on Asian Flight 214 that literally went down, we had KTVU, a local news broadcast, go on national television and say that the four pilots were all of those names in unison right there. So again, this should be a big reality check to a lot of people, especially to the fact checkers that again, the corporate media gets it wrong. They get it wrong a lot. A lot of people make mistakes, but they're never really held accountable for it. But at least we can laugh at them. So at least we still got that.
I was watching the FTX commercial with Larry David. Have you guys seen it?
No.
You know, with all the news on FTX going on, I started like digging into it, and I watched the commercial with Larry David, and it's basically it goes back to ancient times, and there's a guy with a wheel, and Larry David standing there is like, "What is it?" And he's like, "It's a wheel." He's like, "What does it do?" And he's like, "It rolls." And he goes, "So does a bagel. It's stupid." And then it shows him like with like a woman, and she's like pouring it. And she's like, "It's coffee," and he drinks it. Goes, "Oh, it's terrible." And like the gag was he was against all good things, and then one of the scenes is he's with the founding fathers. And then they have the Declaration of Independence. And he goes, "What do you mean everyone gets to vote?" And they're like, "Yes, everyone." He goes, "Even the stupid people?" And they're like, "Yes." And he goes, "No." And he tries to rip up the Declaration of Independence. But that was the one moment where I was like, well, I don't agree with tearing up the Declaration of Independence, certainly. But he brings up a good point about stupid people voting. It is a problem, and it needs to be addressed somehow.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely is true.
It's true.
It's gotten us here.
Yeah.
Maybe it just has to go back to the landowning men. I'm sorry to say.
I was gonna say, I think it's when we started letting women vote that things started going south.
Well, women can own land. The ladies. You heard them.
That's right.
But
Yeah,
it's
we
not.
have a sponsor that allows...
I get on one foot.
And you're a lady of Scotland.
Yeah.
And then you get to vote because you own land.
What kind of property rights do I have to it, though?
Honestly,
Are people allowed to trespass on my 1 foot of land there?
Probably not. I don't know. You put a fence around it.
Yeah, you could. You could put a tree as long as it doesn't grow that big.
It's a square. That actually would be really cool to put a fence around it and like keep outside.
Yeah, just that's your.
We talked about this before. Like, do you get the air rights too? Like how high up? And do you get the mineral rights? Like you bring on a truck and just go straight down like 3 miles through your 1 square foot.
You just have a Gatling gun that shoots into the sky 24/7.
Yeah. Okay. And about stupid people voting.
It is a problem.
Yeah. What do you do? You know,
That's why I don't vote.
That's a good right. Sure.
I get ahead of it.
Yeah. We could put Biden and Fetterman in.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to meet Fetterman voters, though. I really do. I want to meet the people
They
who
look
actually
just
genuinely
like him.
I'm just imagining like going to the town he was mayor of, and it's just literally everyone looks like
It's
him.
the same. It's
They're
all
all
the same.
6'5", bald with a bulge on their neck. The women look like him. The men look like him.
Yeah, the same radiation water has turned them all into the same guy.
Have you played Fallout 3?
Yes.
So, you know, the super mutants, they're all basically identical.
Yeah, true.
All right. Well, people who know the game
Yes.
are like, that's a fair
Yeah,
point.
he's right.
Even the women.
Yeah.
So basically in the game, like the male and female super mutants are just big Frankenstein-looking monsters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes, that's the
It's
joke.
Fetterman.
So what should we do? Starship Troopers? Service guarantee citizenship?
IQ test.
No.
IQ tests? I don't know. Look,
Those can be
no.
wrong.
and it's not so much about
Dave's
that.
like, mine was low. I want to
like-
redo.
I don't think 48's low.
You can be, look. I know people.
I can open Tupperware.
I know people with high IQs. You give them a puzzle, they'll solve it. You ask them, did Joe Biden engage in a quid pro quo? They say no. So like IQ isn't really.
No, I'm not being serious about that. But I think it all comes down to the media, though. It comes down to them talking about
you think
Ligma
skin
and Johnson.
color? Is that what you're driving at?
It comes down to them talking about Ligma and Johnson, and that most people aren't that stupid, but it's what they're being fed. So
I think they are that stupid, though. Like, that lady is that stupid. Like, she has to talk
Clearly.
about it and just was... Like, I looked at that for 2 seconds and was like, yeah, it's Ligma and Johnson. And then she went and did a piece on it.
It never occurred to her. It's crazy.
No, she's like, okay, so Ligma Johnson. And the guy's like, go on. Like, the other guy might have known and was just enjoying
That's Robbie
himself.
Suave. We've had him on the show before, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Why didn't Robbie immediately go like, are you talking
That
about
was
Ligma?
Robbie?
Yeah.
he's usually good, too.
He might have
Well-
done it on purpose.
He's he's of the libertarian sect that somehow often is like pro-government, I guess.
That's such a weird kind
Yeah.
of
Isn't that...
bipolar way of life.
Yeah, that's an opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's you know, he often has takes that are like in line with the establishment, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" Like, you know. But I think it's like whatever the libertarian group was before the Mises Caucus took over. The Mises guys are more pragmatic. Before that, I think they called them like the pragmatists or something, and they're typically just like, I don't know, libertarian, even if it supports an establishment narrative or something.
Can we make Ligma Johnson a lord?
Yeah.
Lord Ligma
Can
Johnson.
I buy it to make it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Wow.
Can we have Lady Ligma Johnson?
There you go. Yeah.
Lady Ligma. Lady Ligma and Lord Johnson.
Yeah, we could have Lord Ligma Johnson and Lady Lingus.
Well, I can only say right now, I'm pretty sure they're very happy they sponsored the show because like they're probably getting dozens of orders for Ligma and Johnson.
Dude, they just own a giant part of Scotland now. Well, that's the Ligman Johnson Forest.
So there's so right now there's 48,000 people watching, and I'm just imagining 48,000 square feet of Lord Ligma and Lord Johnson owned land in Scotland.
No, I'm not discouraging this at all.
I want to see the land first. I want to make sure it's real first. But otherwise, you know, there's a lot of other candidates that we could go with. You know, there's Willie Stroker. There's Harry, you know, last name Cox. So we can keep going here. But my favorite thing, one of my favorite things was a skit, was a skit by Australian comedians that booked the ticket, and they booked it for a guy named Terry, last name Wrist, and a second passenger was called Al, and then the last name was Kata. And they literally missed their flight. So over the speakers in the entire airport, Like, excuse me, we're looking for a terrorist and Mr. Al Qaeda to please go to gate 14. You're about to miss your flight, Mr. Terrorist and Al Qaeda. Please come to gate 14. You're about to miss your flight. It was a hilarious skit.
One way to LaGuardia.
Hilarious skit idea by comedians there. I forgot exactly who the group was. But they were like absolute geniuses. They also faked the motorcade. So I'm going to try to remember.
It would be cool, actually, like, even if, it wasn't the lordship thing, that we just got like 100,000 people to pitch in $10 to buy a forest and create the Ligma Johnson Forest Preserve.
I'm in. We should do it.
We should start the Ligma Johnson Foundation and have Ligma Johnson everywhere.
Can we
seriously?
Can we save an animal and then have like an anteater, and it'll be the Ligma Johnson?
It'll be the sponsor.
In the forest.
It'll be to sponsor a poor journalist.
Okay. We should set up a crowd fund
to
just use the money to buy property, buildings, donate to a hospital, the Ligma Johnson wing. We're talking about stupid people voting, and we're sitting here like, oh, we're going to name stuff Ligma Johnson.
It would be great, though, if this went too far.
Why not? I agree. I absolutely agree. We got to have the small victories,
Exactly.
Everything's doomed. Everything's horrible, and but at least we get to have Ligma Johnson.
I will. What if there's someone who actually is named Ligma Johnson? And he's like listening to this, and he's just like,
guys, this has been a hard road for me.
Why don't we just start a new political party, right?
Maybe we need to make like some products, an energy drink.
Yeah, Ligma Johnson's.
Yeah, Ligma Johnson's
boner
underwear.
Just make it. Don't even be creative about it. Just gas station boner.
Man.
Dr. Ligma Johnson's Vitality formula.
That's better. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Testosterone.
Yeah, and then we'll put a fake thing on it where it's like in 1803, Dr. Ligma Johnson created this formula drink to revitalize men.
Yep. They would grow your hair back, and it'll give you a nice package. It's an extends.
This is very important news we're covering today, I guess.
I hope everybody knows that this is all going to be real
This
very
is exactly
soon.
what they covered, though, Tim.
They did.
This is the news they cover.
And speaking of covers, condoms.
Johnson.
Ligma Johnson condoms.
Yep.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Flavors?
There you go.
We got
What's the least appropriate product we could make that's like shouldn't be named Ligma Johnson?
Ice cream.
pacifiers?
Ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was going to say lollipops, but man, you take it to another level. Jesus.
That is a good one, though.
Can we start a company called Ligma and Johnson, and then just basically whatever we name the product, it'll say under it, Ligma Johnson product.
A little R at the end.
Yeah. You know, and like it'll be like a cursive L and a cursive J.
Yeah.
Parody on Johnson and Johnson.
You're gonna get sued by Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, which is it's a vaccine. You're like, what's it for? I don't know.
I really like the idea of like creating a forest preserve.
I really
and then
do.
people go on Google and they zoom in. Like it's going to be 200 years later, and there's going to be some dude driving around with his wife, and they're like, let's go to a park. And they pull up their map app in their virtual space or whatever it is. And they're like, oh, Ligma Johnson lookout. And then they're going to pull up and they're going to be like, what a great view. And they're going to look up on whatever the future Wikipedia is, like the history of Ligma Johnson, like named because a bunch of people on a podcast rallied a bunch of people to take an internet meme about licking someone's genitals and turning it into a property. And they did.
But in the year like 3050, it'll be like the most quaint story imaginable because everybody's just garbage.
Yeah, true that.
I think a more practical idea, I was going to say something inappropriate, but would actually be maybe just a journalism award. You get the Ligma Johnson Journalism Award for actually getting things right and not being as ridiculous and dumb as the corporate media.
$10,000 prize.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, turn it. I like
twist it.
Yeah.
So instead of standing for some ignorant corporate media trash, you actually support real journalism.
And she has to present it to you until the day she dies.
Now, what's the statue going to be? That's the real question.
So it'll
a tongue
be
like a Rolling Stone logo.
The Ligma Johnson Award for Outstanding Performance in the Field of Excellence.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
And
perfection.
It comes with a $10,000 cash prize. And the reason for that is, who would say no? Like you get up on if you get up on stage and accept the award and give a speech, we will write you a check. Congratulations.
I like it. And then that
Okay, maybe
check-
$1,000. I don't actually give them money.
Yeah, so like $1,000, then a percentage of that has to go to fund a forest called Ligma Johnson.
That's an interesting conundrum.
That's
How
why
many
we all
how many
win.
bad journalists would be like, well, I do want the money.
Well, you'd probably have Brian Stelter every year walking up.
No, I mean he got fired, so.
Oh, that's true. He's at Harvard
Yeah,
now for some reason.
he's not a journalist
He's at
anymore.
Harvard.
Yeah, they took him to Harvard. I guess he teaches class on how not to be gay in public.
Well, he teaches people how to be bad at his job, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing that you can be fired and then get a job at Harvard.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's probably because,
Well, good for him.
whatever the world is now.
Good for
Seems
him,
like
I guess.
He's like a real kind of a croc guy.
Let's
Wears a lot
go
of
back.
Crocs.
Let's go back to the Paul Pelosi thing because I did have this story pulled up. Check this out. From the Post Millennial, body cam footage shows Paul Pelosi opened the door for cops, contradicting Biden DOJ. Quote: 2 officers opened the door to see the foyer of the Pelosi residence. Mr. Pelosi wearing a long-sleeved shirt, DePapp in shorts, running shoes, and a sweatshirt, and DePapp and Mr. Pelosi jointly gripping a hammer. Okay, wait, what? Pelosi
Really?
opens the door and then walks over or something. He opened the door for the cops. So there you go. Reports emerged from the body camera footage captured by police that they went in and 42-year-old DePapp allegedly assaulted Paul, blah, blah, blah. Spoke with a source familiar with the Pelosi investigation who personally viewed body camera video recording of officers. And the body cam video shows Paul Pelosi opened the door for police despite the DOJ saying otherwise. Now, why would the DOJ lie about this? Now, we did cover this yesterday, but the reason I wanted to bring it back up is now we have more people covering the story, but we also have this from the Daily Mail. Suspended NBC News correspondent Miguel Almaguer breaks cover from his $5 million LA home and hops in Porsche to pick up flowers as controversy grows over his report on Paul Pelosi's hammer attack. Yo, how does this guy have a $5 million house and a Porsche?
Whoa.
And anybody?
He looks...
We're in the wrong business.
I think...
No,
he's-
we're in the business. What are you talking about?
We're not chills though. But
I mean-
also it's important. It's important to note this guy hasn't tweeted since being suspended, so he hasn't publicly talked about after he got in trouble for what was clearly reporting on something that actually did happen. After, of course, listening to police officers and reporting what police officers told to him.
He was suspended after reporting on.
He got suspended. He got in trouble for reporting on the initial claim that now NBC is reporting and other news organizations are reporting, and now that there's allegedly, dash cam and police footage out of so. So he told the truth, and then he got in trouble for doing so.
And now he has to bring Paul Pelosi flowers?
Yes.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
But here's my point. How does this guy have enough money for this? Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm sorry. I know the salaries of journalists. Something here is weird.
But he
be a
didn't
rich kid.
just buy it, right?
That's true.
What's the?
His family's. I mean, it is true that journalists typically come from wealthy families.
Yeah. Could have money. Could also...
Maybe he invested well.
Yeah.
Sure.
He could have gotten, $2 a word for an article once and really put that into FXT. Sold just in time.
A $5 million house. That's
what do you think is
crazy.
going on? What's your?
I have no idea.
your
I just think it's
hunch?
kind of weird. I mean,
Well,
this
in
whole
LA,
story is
that's
insane.
just garbage.
I mean,
Yeah,
actually,
5 million.
Yeah.
for real though, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
But
It's a
the people who live there.
one-bedroom in Compton.
Well,
No,
5 million,
Maybe
Yeah.
but
Inglewood.
probably not
Maybe
something
Inglewood.
really big in the
It's
nicer
a
areas.
2 in the hills.
I think Hassan has a $5 million house in the LA area, right?
Yeah,
What a good
that's-
little
that's-
socialist he is.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he deserves it.
It's a nice area. LA, gorgeous.
Here's a
I don't know if you've been
guy
lately.
who now, by all accounts, appears to have accurately reported some weird goings-on with Paul Pelosi. He gets suspended. We don't know why. They're not explaining themselves. The story's being corroborated. Turns out it was likely true. The dude who reported it is unnaturally wealthy. I mean, look, if you were a cop and you were investigating something like this, you'd be like, how does a guy who is like a journalist afford all of these things? Sure, I mean, maybe he comes from a rich family or something like that. I just think it's kind of weird.
Why
And
would the
also-
police investigate him for being wealthy, though?
I'm not saying him. I'm saying
I'd
like
investigate him for being
if
suspended.
if you're a doctor and you're wearing gold chains and living in a $10 million house.
What's wrong with
they're
that?
They're gonna be like, this guy doesn't have that, like something doesn't add up here.
He's selling oxys for sure.
Right. No, exactly. They're going to be like, something's going on. And so I'm kind of like, hey, this is kind of weird. I don't trust these people. I think the big thing, the whole thing's a racket anyway. You'd be surprised how much money journalists do make to a certain degree.
NBC too.
Yeah, but this is just...
And who's his wife? Probably someone in the White House.
Oh, there you go. That explains it, I guess. He drives a $134,000 car.
Yeah.
Has a $5 million gated home in Studio City, California.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know why you'd want that.
I agree.
me
I was
Just in
thinking,
that area, it just seems like a good way to die.
Hey, that's literally where I moved
having
from.
like a really expensive
offense.
house. And
No, I lived in LA for a
taken.
long time, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, hey.
I mean, I used to love it.
Yeah,
It was
totally.
great 20 years ago.
Yeah, can
but
imagine.
not now.
No, just a
No.
lot of tents.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of times.
It's really sad, really. It's like there used to be that little area that was Skid Row, and then it's just all the
Greater
LA now.
Greater Skid Row.
Yeah, it's so
No,
sad. Like
yeah.
it was that one block downtown, and then just...
Now it's all of downtown.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Nancy Pelosi won her district? It was like 81% to like 19 or something. Something like...
Really?
Yeah. And it's crazy to me because I'm like, you'd think the 12th time you stepped in human feces, you'd be like, I'm not voting for this person
Yeah,
anymore.
just in your driveway?
Right. But yeah. There's like a video of a woman taking a dump in the middle, like a residential street.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, there you go. I was in LA and some woman walked into the middle of the street, and this was not in a bad area. And she just pulls her pants off, takes them off, squats in the middle of the street, and just lets it go. And I was like, wow, that's California for you. This was a while ago. This was like 7 years ago.
Were people clapping and saying how brave she was?
No, people were kind of running.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like not running, like speed walking with like a little hustle to get into the store to like get away from it,
Was she wearing a mask?
No, this was way before the pandemic.
question.
Oh, okay.
And there was and then like I'm walking and I was like, oh well, there you go, that's Los Angeles. And then I looked to my right, and there was just like maybe like 7 or 8 morbidly obese homeless people, and I just thought to myself like, man, we got fat homeless people.
We have fat, starving people in America. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Are they really starving though? What do you mean by that?
Malnutrition. They have
Yeah,
so much
yep.
crap in their bodies that they're
Yeah.
actually starving, but they're morbidly obese at the same time.
Isn't that the majority of Americans, though?
I think
Yeah,
it's
like every
40
time I look in
yeah.
the mirror, friend.
40% of Americans, I think, are obese.
Yeah, and that
it's
number
got
is
to be
rising
more
very,
than
very
that. I
quickly.
mean, that's really got to be throttled.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. I'm looking at Miguel, and it looks like he always was a career journalist, and it looks like he got the money from NBC News from his career there. So they probably have been paying him a lot. He's been working in journalism since 2000. And I think the main takeaway here is that he's been very quiet. He hasn't tweeted since being suspended. And the fact that NBC News retracted the official story here, which now is correct, really is the big story here. Really is very, very telling here, because I think there's a reason Miguel's not speaking out. Because he could say, hey, I did my job. I got the story right. I said it first. And I think it's maybe something similar to what happened with ABC News and Amy, what's her name? Robichaud?
Roback
with Project Veritas that exposed her when she did a good story on Jeffrey Epstein, saying that she had Bill Clinton, she had all the politicians, and they, of course, axed and deleted that story and made sure that it never saw the day of light. There's probably something else more sinister here because, again, rich people, the most powerful people in the world, one, have a bunch of security around them. So this whole story doesn't make sense just on that. Just one aspect of it. But again, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm sick of speculating what happened here. I'm just going to imagine the worst possible thing, and they were sacrificing babies and doing horrible things to them.
Well,
prove me wrong. Show me evidence. Otherwise,
Okay.
they were sacrificing babies. That's it.
Let's try this one on this story about this Almaguer guy. If we're gonna assume the worst, then it's NBC News pays this man an exorbitant amount of money so that he lies on TV. And then he doesn't question it because he doesn't want to lose the big cash.
Isn't
that's
what
called the job
they
of an
all
anchor.
That's
Yeah,
what they all get
that's-
paid to do. And the
Yeah.
other thing is, he's got a $5 million home. He might be staying quiet because he knows that, especially since he's kind of vindicated now, he might be able to sue them for wrongful termination.
I don't think they're going to fire him.
Well, he's suspended.
Yeah, but they're with pay.
Oh, is he just suspended?
Yeah.
Look, I'm willing to bet they went to him and said, hey, look, it's a bad time for this story because the midterm's coming up, so just lie low for a bit and we'll give you a bonus.
Yeah, if you're making that kind of money, they're not just going to suspend you and expect you not to say anything. And he's
Yeah.
got to be getting money if he's not tweeted.
I've told this story before, how I was like, when I worked at Fusion and I said, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. And they were like, well, you're under contract. And I was like, well, this is stupid. And then a few months later, they gave me a call and they deposited tens of thousands of dollars in my bank account. And then I was like, yeah, I still don't want to be here. And they're like, oh. And then a few months later, like, okay, your contract is up, you can leave. And I was like, bye.
I mean, the majority of journalists, I mean, a lot of them have substance abuse problems. A lot of them that I've personally met and hung out with, especially I 1 year I got really hammered with the White House press corps. All of them depressed as hell. All of them are like, yeah, I just got a family. I got bills to pay. I want to make sure that my kids go to a good school. They give me a script. I read it. That's it. And I think it's more clearer by the day that they're just doing the bidding of the special interest of the powerful people of the Pelosi's that at the end of the day dictate what the people get to know about, because this story clearly highlights how they covered up key facts and evidence of what actually happened here just to make themselves look better, just to cover up the truth from the general public. And until I see videos, until I see actual evidence, there's no reason to give the government and these people the benefit of the doubt. Always think the worst.
I was thinking, because someone super chatted about Ligma Johnson, and I'm just thinking if we started a political party,
Yeah.
like if that was on the ballot, a lot of people would be like, yup. And they might
for sure.
just meme a Ligma Johnson candidate into, like, the Libertarians have been trying so hard to get a candidate in Congress. But if you put Ligma Johnson, a lot of people are probably going to be like, it's a protest vote. You know?
Can we tell Dave Smith to change his name legally right now? Dave, you're listening to me right now. Please, I get 10% on this idea. Change your name legally right now to Ligma Johnson.
I love
Please.
Dave. I would vote for him in a heartbeat, but if we do Ligma Johnson, that man is going to be president.
If he legally changes his name to Ligma Johnson and the American people see it on the ballot box in 2024,
From a Dave
there's
to
no
a
doubt.
Dave, yep.
There's no doubt that American people will go for it. No doubt.
No, I'll tell you this. With mail-in voting, I guarantee you, if you go, like, so look, what is it? 40% or 50% of people don't vote.
Yes.
You go to the door and you be like, hey, did you vote? You'll be like, dude, I don't care about that. Yeah, but you can vote for Ligma Johnson. They're going to be like, for real? And be like, yeah, dude, look, it says Ligma Johnson. They're going to be like, done. Here.
That's the independent vote? That's the vote of the people who don't vote? That's the vote of the stoners? That's the vote of the Ians? That's the vote of the Lukes? That's the vote of the people. That's the populist working class right there. That's going to be like, absolutely, we need this change dramatically. I'm sick of the two-party duopoly. I'm sick of the Bidens, the Trumps. I'm sick of all that. Ligma Johnson, 2024. I actually have a shirt that says Ligma Johnson 2024, but that's a separate issue. I think it's something that we could really...
And then Dave Smith
really
changes his
get
name to
behind.
Ligma Johnson.
Seriously,
If
Dave.
you go to a football tailgate to get those votes, if any there's so many places
dude.
you could go. You're just getting high fives.
Banners, blips everywhere. Ligma Johnson everywhere.
getting checked.
I could see it.
Remember when D's Nuts got all those votes?
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
Trump would have a meltdown too if Ligma Johnson actually started believing it. That guy, Ligma Johnson, don't know who he is.
I don't know why he's taking all
Not
these
a very
votes.
nice name.
Not very nice at all. Yeah, but does it take away from, if you were to actually just get people to vote for Dave Smith, I guess?
It's idiocracy. We might as well meet people where they're at, right? We might as well just go there. Why not? Right? What else are we going to do?
Okay, well, I couldn't help but bring up the
surpassed
Ligma
that,
Johnson
right?
thing again because it's just the more interesting. But we have the story from Post Millennial. This is just happening now. Breaking news, Twitter temporarily closes office building, suspends employee access. On Thursday, it was revealed that Twitter had temporarily closed its office buildings and suspended access badges. The offices are expected to reopen Monday, November 21st, giving Elon Musk and his team a chance to sort things out. Sort what out? No details as given why. They just basically shut down. We're hearing this is because Elon Musk and his team are terrified employees are going to sabotage the company. Also, they're still trying to figure out which Twitter workers they need to cut access for. Schiffer reported that employees were being told to continue to comply with company policy by refraining from discussing confidential company information on social media, with the press, or elsewhere. This is interesting. Elon Musk effectively performed a hostile takeover of a woke institution.
Yes.
These people are whiny baby children and are imploding, and this is what happens when you do. It's fascinating. It's imagine like you're on the high seas and you board the enemy ship. They're not just going to be like, well, I guess we work for you now.
Well, it was like this comical employment where you're getting insane amounts of money. You're, riding a scooter through the office. It's just this insane job that you could have, and now they don't know what to do. There's no, it's not even realistic.
I mean, the Twitter headquarters is basically like a daycare. Have you seen the video, the day in the life of a Twitter employee? And they have meditation rooms and game rooms and lattes
wine
and
on
whatever.
tap.
Wine bar.
Yeah, on a roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they're these little latte liberals who are like basically working in a giant daycare, and they're going online and complaining about their boss, and then being like, "Why did I get fired? He's this big evil man." But he wouldn't have done anything if they weren't complaining about him publicly.
Yeah, Patrick Bateman in the 80s would seem like a harder worker than anybody at Twitter.
Maybe what needs to happen is Elon just buy all the companies, and then they all just crumble, fall apart.
Oh, that would be great. Grab Facebook. Grab
CNN.
I would love it. I would
Facebook's
like it
doing
if,
fine on its own. It's falling apart. That's
they are doing a great
Well, they
job.
just did a massive layoff too, didn't
Yeah.
they? What was it? 10,000 employees
Something
they're
like
laying
that.
off.
Yeah, but Zuckerberg was right to try something new with Meta.
Yeah. True,
with like
true.
AR stuff, because Facebook itself as a company is aging out of existence.
Yep.
That's it. They're going AOL. That's what everyone thought was going to happen.
Good riddance.
MySpace.
Get out of here. I'm sick of your crap.
Yeah, but TikTok is replacing them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, okay, fine. But that empire was absolutely evil with how they worked and orchestrated larger psyopses against the American people, how they censored people. I think we are seeing a digital transition. I think what we're seeing at Twitter is some kind of civil war happening inside of that company. Obviously, I would not want to be at the helm of being in charge of thousands of woke employees. Project Veritas did an undercover video. One of the employees at Twitter said that they worked 4 hours a week. Okay? Imagine having to deal with those kind of entitled individuals that just want to be at a wine bar the whole time. It would be extremely difficult to get anything done here. I'm still waiting for Elon Musk to bring people back that were banned, but I could see a lot of internal battles, a lot of internal fights happening right now just basically on that one particular issue, the unbannings. I think this is personally, just from my own speculation, what this is all about. And there's probably some people at the company saying, I will jeopardize this, I will expose this, I will say this, I will destroy this company. I will tell people how many bots are on this company if you allow Donald Trump to be on this platform, or Project Veritas, or all the
Babylon
other dozens
Bee.
of individuals, or Babylon Bee, or everyone else that should have not been banned.
Do it.
The issue is the advertisers, though. He's really struggling with trying not to bankrupt this company by, throwing all the advertisers to the wind. I think that's why he was so quick to try the Twitter Blue stuff too, which obviously was rolled out a little too quickly.
I think he knew that.
Yeah, he did. But so I think that's why we're not seeing a lot of these unbannings yet, is because he's trying to really grapple with, and why he's getting rid of some of the staff is he needs it on the right track to tell advertisers, hey, this is, where we need to go.
This is probably why he didn't want to buy it. He tried backing out. He saw the data and then realized that the reason Twitter is doing this is because of advertiser pressure. And that if he goes in and makes these changes, then the advertisers drop, there's no money, and the company's gone. And so they were like, good luck, buddy. But that's why as soon as he comes in, like you said, Twitter Blue, right now, everyone sign up.
Or government pressure.
Already did.
You signed up?
Yeah.
I did, but he needs to implement a class structure there, because I bought Twitter Blue, and my checkmark used to say this person's verified because she's really cool and super important, and now it says it's because I pay for Twitter Blue.
Yeah.
It's fine. Everybody can know it's because I pay for Twitter Blue.
Elon says that too.
He made a mistake with that one, because right now he is saying he's going to remove legacy badges, and they're going to drop off the next couple of months. Fine, but bro, if you're going around saying like you can have the limited edition, first edition badge, or the like the reprint, I don't want a reprint.
No.
Like, why am I going to pay for that?
Okay, and Tim, the mentions are really bad, Luke. That it's really hard for us to sort things, not to be an elitist Twitter prick, but it's really
I agree,
bad.
yeah.
I can't see, you can't see anything that's notable or
there's
that
so many
needs your
plebs.
attention. It's really...
I only talk to important people, is what you're saying.
So let me tell you guys.
it's hard to, when you use it for business too, it's hard to sort through the mentions now. It's kind of a nightmare.
My mobile app is the Twitter beta app, which I've not updated. And
O'Rourke?
Yes. And my mentions are the same as they've always been. Anyone who bought Twitter Blue does not appear verified on this app.
Really?
Yeah. So I noticed, because we got Twitter Blue for Timcast News, because I was like, I want the news organization to have a verification badge on it. And so I logged on my phone and there's no badge. And I was like, what? I was like, what am I paying for? And then I looked online and it was there. And I was like, huh? Then everyone started saying mentions were busted. And I pulled up my phone and looked, and I'm like, the only people in my mentions are legacy verified people. And so...
So you're not updating.
I'm not updating the app.
I'm not updating.
No.
See, Tim's he's an elitist prick too.
Well, so
he's earned it.
But this is interesting. I already have a mention section for everyone. If you tweet at me and you're talking at me and you have a standard account, that's fine. The verification tab doesn't need to be the elites or anything like that. But it does create a space where the people who are interacting with me are working for some company or something like that.
Right.
So then it's typically what I see is journalists talking about stuff, or people I know and have worked with talking about stuff. Now, with the Twitter blue verification, I'm hearing people say like they lost that feed of their colleagues.
Yep.
So he's got to figure out filters for this stuff.
Yeah, but I think he rolled it out so quickly that because he just wanted to give a cushion to everything that's going on with the advertisers. But I don't really think there's a way around that. He's just got to let go that the advertisers, they're not going to care. If he lets these people back on the platform, the advertisers are gone.
Well, what I don't like is that he created the second verification, the official tag now. Like, wow, dude. So
it's confusing and weird, and why does the corporate media have it? And
right,
it just
how do I get it for Timcast News? Huh? I want to be double verified.
Yeah.
What do I got to do? Huh?
We are changing.
Liquid Johnson?
Yeah.
Huh? How are we going to make sure he gets into office with this kind of shenanigans going on?
I know. You know what's going on here. Not to mention,
I think, too, with a lot of the people, though, that the age that are working for him, the fact that that's kind of the mentality of that group, is there a way that he can actually control his employees? I mean, how do you really know? I mean, aren't they kind of all against him, minus a small percentage?
You know, I'll tell you.
I don't know if
it's
true or not.
The challenge is best described this way. If you have a storefront in any city and
it's not on fire,
you put a sign in the window that says you support Trump, in the middle of the night, a guy puts on a mask and throws a brick through your window, causing you thousands of dollars in damages and potentially shutting your store down for the day. You call the police. What are the police going to tell you? Oh,
you have insurance?
Yeah. They said, well, what are we supposed to do about it? You say, I don't know. Stop the guy. How? I got video footage of him. Okay, it's a guy in a hoodie. What do you want us to do? Forensic analysis, CSI, dust for prints, track every servant. It's not going to happen. So Elon Musk knows this. If someone does sabotage the company, sure, he can look in the logs, but I would guarantee you that if one of his employees committed a felony against him, law enforcement would do nothing about it.
No.
It's probably true.
Unless it's pro-establishment.
Well, he would have to use his own people to actually press charges against him and go that route.
That would never. It'll never happen.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. If it was the other way around,
yeah,
hands down.
Oh, of course.
If Twitter was owned by Jack Dorsey and Vijay Gadde at the helm, and it was pro-Democrat like it had been for years,
oh, for sure,
and an employee sabotaged it because they were tied to the political bias, they'd be locked up in 10 seconds.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm not saying this based on like perceived political bias. I'm saying it based on actually looking at how law enforcement's been operating in this country and personal experience. If someone commits a very serious federal crime, it just doesn't happen. Like, I've talked to law enforcement, like swatting is a really great example.
I was just going to bring that up, but I didn't know if we were supposed to go there.
Right, exactly.
I was going to say, is that specifically what you were mentioning?
Partly.
Yeah.
But we have evidence. And so, we've talked to multiple law enforcement agencies and they're just like, guy, you have armed guards, you're fine. And then I'm like, dude, this is like gone on too much. They're committing crimes. And they're like, don't care. Sorry, have a nice day. It's nothing. It's been a year.
Yeah,
they're using your
useless.
people to commit crimes and you don't care.
But the issue is now that we are paying for it.
Right.
Now that we pay for armed guards and things like that, they're like, oh, so we don't got to worry about it anymore, right? So what? And I'm like, okay.
They don't care in general, though, because I know I had a really bad stalker. Lauren Southern and I had the same stalker.
I stopped.
It was it was very,
now
very...
you're here.
I know. Well, she lifted the restraining order.
It was really bad. And I remember, it got escalated up to the FBI. And I had the FBI, he was the head of the cyber crimes division. And he calls me. And I said, yeah, a lot of this stuff is happening on Twitter. The guy's made like 300 plus YouTube videos about me.
Good Lord.
You know what the guy at the FBI, the head of the cybercrime division, you know what he told me? He said, have you tried calling Twitter? I said, sir, with all due respect, if you think I can call Twitter, you shouldn't be head of the cybercrimes unit.
Seriously?
He told me to call Twitter about a stalker, a very serious stalker I had. The FBI.
That's amazing.
Well, if there's a traffic violation, the cops are there and it generates revenue for the state, but your life's in danger, they don't give a damn. That's usually the protocol of what's happening here. And it's very interesting to see what's happening because we have US senators right now calling for the FTC to investigate Twitter and Elon Musk as we have the whole FTX scandal with clients losing billions of dollars. And then they don't care about that. They're not really doing anything around that issue. The FBI is giving a warning to the guy saying, hey, we probably will be investigating you. This is your time to leave and escape right now. It's literally giving him a warning.
It's almost like they laundered $40 million for the Democrats.
Well, that's what it looks like. Absolutely.
The crazy thing about FTX is it seems like what they were trying to do, what this guy Bankman-Fried is saying is, hey, we didn't do anything on tour with your money. We didn't gamble it. We loaned it to Alameda.
Yeah.
And then Alameda does investments, and they make investments with their money. They weren't gambling. That's what their company does. And the money's lost.
Yep.
My question, where was the money invested? Who benefited? Because think about the chain right here.
Democrats.
11 billion people. $11 billion. Obviously not 11 billion people. $11 billion in American money was in FTX. Gone now because it's transferred to Alameda. Alameda did something with that money. They didn't give $11 billion to Democrats. And why does it stop there? Why is the media just stopping here? Let's figure out where Alameda put that money, because I'm willing to bet there's more co-conspirators. Mm-hmm. So they basically are playing this game of, look, I'm just a company that invests in this, that, or otherwise. And Alameda came to me and said they wanted to invest. Don't look at me. The money's mine now. It's clean. How many steps until they actually take that money and doesn't come back?
Yeah, it's like the cartel.
Essentially.
Well, it is. It's the same thing. It's money laundering. I mean, it's just completely, it's what do you do with cocaine? It's what you do with anything else.
40 million of it went to Democrats.
Yes. 40 million went to Democrats.
For ballot harvesting.
Yeah.
Largely.
Of U.S. taxpayer dollars, essentially.
Yeah.
And then you have these huge names that had a huge amount of money involved in it. So it's out there. It's completely public.
I think there's also breaking news right now of the local government in the Bahamas actually taking control of the remaining FTX assets right now in the making of this video. So they also invested a lot of money in alleged tech startups, in allegedly global warming, and also fighting the next pandemic. Where that money went, I think we should be asking a lot of very serious questions, because people were defrauded. People lost their money. That money, of course, was sent to politicians, not just Democrats, also GOP causes and Republican candidates as well, and their super PACs. So we have to understand, protection money goes both ways. How will it protect him? What's going to happen next is going to be really, really interesting and fascinating to see how rotten and corrupted the entire system is.
Yeah, you're right. Everything that they did say that they spent the money on was this very, very just sort of
vague,
very
generalized topics.
They were quicker to stop Redditors who were investing in GameStop and AMC.
Yep.
Oh, very quick.
Absolutely.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a national emergency. They got the agents
right
ready
away.
for those.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
I just had
straight to
GameStop
jail.
because I knew a PlayStation was coming out, and I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then one day I was like, oh wow, that's something.
I'm rich.
Look at that.
So apparently this report from Daily Mail, Bahamas government ordered fallen crypto CEO Sam Bankman-Fried to hack FTX systems and transfer assets to the island nation after he filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
Well then.
But what are we doing about this? What is the FTC doing about this? They just fined Kim Kardashian $1 million for not putting hashtag ad on her Instagram post, or not disclosing how much she made on an Instagram post.
They're going to investigate Twitter, because Elon Musk is bringing in Ligma Johnson.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
That's a big
I'm
problem.
glad
And
they're
that
getting
guy
the
is
real
going to change the
criminals.
world.
You know what? What people are saying
Elon
is
and Kim.
In the Bahamas, some rich people.
Bankman-Fried's going to get away with it to a great degree because
His
he
name's
paid for it.
Bankman-Fried.
He paid for it.
Yeah.
He bought his immunity. And so the press he's getting scrutiny because of Twitter. He's getting scrutiny because of Reddit. He's not having these hardcore journalistic exposés coming out. In fact, I think if we have this tweet, here we go. Look at this. Jake Shields tweeting. Looks like this event. This looks like an event not to miss. Zelensky, Bankman-Fried, Larry Fink, and many more, including Janet Yellen. The New York Times event, November 30th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Only $2,400 to attend.
Yeah, if you look at the partners of who he was working with the Ukrainian Bank. He was working with the World Economic Forum. He was working with Tony Blair. He was working with Bill Clinton. He's working with known people who are war criminals and child diddlers. Let's be honest here. He was working with the worst of the worst when it comes to the most powerful, the most evilest people on the face of this earth. So I think it's fair to conclude especially with how fast the company was made so popular, especially with everyone on the corporate media shilling for him, calling him the next JP Morgan and Chase, that there's something up here that's a lot more nefarious than we actually know about. I think right now we only know very little about what actually happened here. I think a lot of this was maybe a money laundering front. I think there was a lot of secret, shadowy money moving around, coming from one place, going to another place. I think what could be potentially uncovered here is some deep down intelligence agency connected psyops and extortion rackets that could probably blow people's minds away. But again, that's just speculation. But at the end of the day, right now, what else are we left to think here?
Did you guys see that? I think it was Zelensky who said it was a Russian missile and NATO's wrong.
Yep.
I saw that.
He doubled down.
World War III.
Yeah. He died? He's
like, I imagine that, he does these videos where he's like, we must protect freedom and Russia is a terrorist state. And then as soon as the camera turns off, he just goes, because this dude's out of his mind.
Yeah. No, I feel like he just orders some of the same hookers as Hunter. Has a good time.
He closes the laptop and then Hunter walks out and then he's like smoking a crack pipe. And
he's like, good job. Give
let's
me a
do
pop.
this.
Yeah. They're on the same yacht.
Yeah,
it's not illegal because we're on the water.
He acts like a movie star. He is. One of my favorite Babylon star. B headlines that we did, it said after, what was it, Hurricane Ian, that awful. It said President Zelensky is on a raft asking Hurricane Ian victims for money for Ukraine.
Well, they need their money, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like, is this just something that they're doing because there's no actual real money, so now they're just creating money to kind of get more legitimate money back into the more real money pile? Does that make sense?
There's real money?
Well, no, there's not real money, but there's money that we think is more real than other money.
No, it's just, it's war. It's war. That's war. What is it good for?
Right.
Increasing domestic manufacturing.
In March of 2020, we got off the fractional reserve system and switched to the infinite reserve system, meaning banks could create money on demand with no restriction at all.
And print money, and then still have the IRS that takes your fake money.
Yeah, well, so the point of the IRS is to limit financial expansion and inflation, not to actually fund the government.
Right.
This is modern monetary theory. So what happens is when a bank, when you take your credit card and swipe, that money's created.
Yeah.
And that, when a bank gives out a loan, the money is created. They're not giving you money they have. And since March of 2020, they've had no restrictions. It used to be, it was like a 90% restriction. So if they had 100 grand, they could create 90% more. And then what people are complaining about is that you create that money and put it in another bank. That bank then loans out another 90%, which then puts into another bank. And then they keep doing that. And eventually they were like, this is dumb. Let's just tell the banks they can make money endlessly. And now the money supply is woo, through the roof. People are just printing, making it. I kind of feel like in 2008, they knew the system was collapsing. So they started preparing to jump ship. And they were like, let's print as much money as possible for ourselves to absorb as much natural resources that we can and enrich ourselves. Then when the system collapses, we'll be lords of our little fiefdoms.
Oh, I knew in 2008 it was going to end when the dumbest cokeheads I knew were driving $60,000 cars and selling $3 million houses.
Seriously,
Hey, good for them, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really. I think they spent it all pretty quick.
Yeah. And here we are.
But it all worked out, though.
I guess my advice is get a nice little plot of land and get some chickens, some goats, maybe.
Or forest. I'm not going to get off this.
Ligma Johnson Forest.
Yeah.
We could pull this. We could pull this off.
We can all be in this
I
together.
mean, I can name the forest on Freedomistan the Ligma Johnson Forest right now.
Well, what's stopping you?
It's like 30
Thank
acres of forested area.
We have to make this a public place, though, that people
Yes.
could come into and enjoy Ligma Johnson to the
commune.
fullest extent.
Bring the family.
Yo,
Exactly.
hold on. There's like 200 acres of forested land for like $1 million. So all we need is 100,000 people to donate $10, and then we will have a
20 on
public
it.
land. What was it?
They got 20 on it right now.
Make it 15, and we can put bathrooms, and then Ligma Johnson.
We
National
could adopt
Forest.
a highway, too.
Could just
Guys,
make it a
let's not go
town at this
crazy,
point.
right?
It's just going to be a town at this point.
I don't know. Do you think that we so I know where there's a big plot of land, like 200 acres for like $1 million,
Graveyard?
and it's forested, all forested. There's a road going through it, and it's weirdly shaped. But if we got 50,000 people to give $20,
Can we make Dave mayor of Ligma Johnson?
Please.
yes,
Thank you.
we'll build a statue.
Because you be the Lord
No. It's you. We'll build a statue of you. Right when you come in, it'll be like, welcome to Ligma Johnson,
I'm in.
public forest.
But the two pranksters, the two OGs, need to be recognized.
That's
for
true,
their
they do.
epic
So it'll
repertoire.
be a statue of Dave as like a jolly old man with his arm around the Ligma Johnson guy. He's got a cigar in his mouth.
They'll be right in the.
But the Ligma Johnson guys have to be huge. Like, they
Yeah,
have
I
to
could be
tower.
I could be in the middle of them, but smaller. I'm fine with that. I know where I stand.
And then the woman who was on there reporting the story, she's just in a glass box crying the whole time.
Yes, the real woman.
We'll put a statue of her, and we'll do like they do these things out here because it's all Civil War territory.
Yes.
where they have these like placards that are covered, and you can read about the history. We'll do that as you walk the trail of the Ligma Johnson Forest, explaining like. It won't just talk about Ligma Johnson. It will talk about the history of the corrupt media.
Yes.
This would actually be really cool, but you'd need an extra like 10 grand for something like that for installation and stuff. But it would be really cool if you like walked the path and there were like little things being like, in this year, this, media organization lied about this and stuff like that. And you follow the years back to the origin of fake news, and it's, talking about like fake reports, like when, who was it who reported that Napoleon had won, then the stocks crashed.
Oh, the Rothschilds.
Is that the Rothschilds did that?
Yep.
They had someone claim that the Napoleon won the Napoleonic Wars, and then all of a sudden the stocks were collapsing. They started buying them all up like crazy, and then the real word came in that he actually lost, and then all of a sudden everything they had was worth way more.
Yeah.
So there you go. Like, go back to the origins of the fake news narrative manipulation stuff.
All the way to like Marilyn Monroe, who's just not ODing. It's just two CIA agents stuffing pills in her face.
MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Secret PSYOP.
That'd be super cool. You know what we do? We buy the land, and then we let the public put up whatever placard they want. It's like, just show up and do it. Whatever. It's public land. Have fun.
I'm in.
And like, there'll be one big sign at the entrance being like, by entering this property, you can't sue us.
And then at the end, it says Biden Fetterman.
2024.
It's a no-brainer.
Damn right.
We all win.
We got to take back the commons.
I kind of think this is possible. This would be like a huge thing if we were able to do it. Start a crowd fund. You need to raise a little bit more for closing costs and stuff like that. Find the plot of land, announce that we want to buy it, and then see if people are willing to pitch in $10 to buy the land, and we'll put it into a trust or something, or like maybe
And we make it available to the general public, and we make it a big park.
Should make it a scholarship for journalists.
Ooh, that's
The
a good
Ligma
one.
Johnson Scholarship.
Yeah, but I don't want to give those people money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put people in journalism.
Yeah, you don't want to.
school.
You don't want them to go to the
It could be a
indoctrination camps.
big theme park.
So that would be a lot harder. But
would
I'm
be
open
harder.
to, it's like 50 years later, we're all old, and that's like the happiest place on earth. Park Ligma Johnson with roller
Easily.
coasters,
Yeah.
and
It's like Disney, but you're aware
Dave's
of what
there
goes
and he's
on.
very old, and they're like, "Tell us the story again, Dave, about how this was formed." Well, kids, it was 50
I
years
just
ago.
couldn't stop talking about it.
Yes, I kept
Especially
bringing
about
it
the
up.
pacifiers
I just bring it back.
and the condoms.
What if we like pitch this to Elon and asked him to contribute? Because look, the real goal is no one's going to own this. It's going to be like a privately owned public space in a trust. So the value is retained with the property, but you create a public park and you call it Ligma Johnson. And it would just, maybe I'm pretty sure we could find some rich people who get down on that.
For sure.
Yeah, all right,
Yes.
let's do it.
I feel
Some
like you'd
people
be
that didn't
into it.
lose to FTX, they got to be out there.
That's right. Let me write down Ligma Johnson. I'm writing it down.
Oh, he's serious.
I'm serious
He's real
too.
serious.
Forest.
Yeah.
He's real serious.
And
Guys, this is the fall of Rome.
Does
Just
anybody
get on
have
board.
Elon's phone number?
I do.
You do.
Yeah. Well, I call Twitter.
We'll call Twitter after the show, and then here's an idea. We could somehow use the property as a way to help support Twitter, and then everyone, when they log in, they just see the fundraiser on the top of their feeds.
Yes.
Powered by Ligma Johnson.
That's right. That's right. What if Elon changes the verification badge to the Ligma Johnson badge?
Oh, what does our badge look like, though?
Just balls.
Balls.
It's like just a nice set.
Well, like
Yeah.
here's what I'm
This is-
thinking. To what degree could Elon screw with Twitter and we'd all just go along with it? Like already we have double verification.
I would write it down. He could burn it down. That'd be great.
I know. I'm sitting here
all
like
in.
sure.
It would be
He
like
should-
2015 Twitter all over again. Let's
Fire
do it.
everybody and just hire people over the age of 45.
Yeah. I mean, why doesn't he just strip everything out of it and turn it into a decentralized text feed and just be like, we got no staff,
Protocol.
nobody's in charge of it. Yep, just protocol.
Yeah.
There you go. It'll
Good luck.
exist forever. People will use it and nobody makes money on it.
Yep.
He'd lose $44 billion, I guess, and his investors would be really, really angry. He's got to pay that debt back, so I don't know.
Yeah, but he wants to make it WeChat. He wants to make it that we have to do almost everything on there. So I don't think that's the vision that he sees with Twitter.
I got to be honest. If it were me, like, I would roll out a Ligma Johnson button on the left just because you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's like a like button, but better.
Yeah. And, you could Ligma the post.
Yeah, you could Johnson it.
What does a Ligma mean? What does the Ligma mean? Is it good? Is that like a like?
It's like a like.
It's like a super like.
You click it. It's the like implies you like it or you're favoriting it right now. The Ligma just means you Ligma it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
It's whatever it means to you.
Yeah, exactly. Just think about the ability to do funny stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Like,
look, might as well.
You think I'm not being serious? Let me.
I think you're being serious.
Because nothing's funny anymore because everything's so crazy.
Well, everything you say is just under a microscope and being attacked.
I'm telling you right now, if you go to
Timcast,
timcast.com and you go to the Join Us page, you can see, you want to pull that up? You can see we've got our rooster, Roberto Jr., and our cat, Bocus, in our talent tree. And, of course, Jamie Kilstein. Jamie, you're still there, despite the fact that Jamie was consulting and now he's not here right now. But I put my rooster, Roberto Jr., up in
it's
our...
It's really good headshots of
like
your rooster and your cat.
It is very good. Bocus is star of the show.
How did you get them to...
Is it a male rooster? Is that your male rooster up there,
Is there
Tim?
a female rooster, Luke? Is there such a thing as a female rooster?
It's 2022, Tim. You gotta get with the times and be accepting.
That is Roberto Jr.
That is your male chicken on there.
That is my male chicken.
Yeah.
I like it.
I also put a 96-foot tall billboard of him in Times Square.
Oh, did you really? Oh, yeah, you did. I saw that. That's awesome.
A 96-foot tall picture of my cock was up in Times Square.
I love it. Family-friendly show here. Good.
Yeah. Well,
cockerel.
What do you think we're talking about? Come on. That's my point. I'm just like, I don't know exactly what it did, but it was something. I'm just waiting for Elon to throw a pie. I guess he kind of is though. The Ligma Johnson stuff. I'm all for it. Yeah. Someone's got to do something. It's getting boring.
Elon, I hope you're listening.
That's the positive thing about Trump.
That's why people love Trump. People were so bored and tired, and they wanted someone to,
Yep.
He
was
it
a
all
monkey
down.
wrench in a system, and that's what we enjoyed seeing.
He still is. He very clearly still is. That's why everyone's so upset about him running again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the meltdowns are pretty fun.
Yeah.
Just to watch people lose their minds.
It's fun to see the Republicans melting down over him again, too.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'm like, yes, it's 2015 all over again.
That's right.
I'm like,
and
yes.
it's the same people.
And I love DeSantis, but the DeSantis bros are coming out in full force right now, and they're so annoying. They're so cringe.
I think a lot of people take themselves too seriously.
Yes.
I think that's the main issue. A lot of people are like angry. How dare you trigger or get angry at Trump? And I'm like, well, just stop it. Stop with the nonsense. Same with the DeSantis people.
DeSantis hasn't even announced. He's not even running. And you got these guys like saying, no, it's going to be DeSantis. The guy's not even running right now.
Yeah.
No, his exact words were, I just won this election. Could you calm down and let me do my job?
Yeah. So, what we could try to do, and I mean it, we could set up a fundraiser. A crowd fund. None of the money, we would set up a bank account with like a trust or something. We got to figure out the proper legal way to do it. Maybe we actually have all the money go specifically to like a lawyer or something so that no individual benefits from it. And the lawyer's only signed like ability is to transfer the money for the property or something. And then I bet if we got a bunch of other prominent personalities, commentators on board with it, we could easily raise money to buy a large plot.
I bet you could make it a 501c3 too.
Very difficult to do. Take 2 years.
You should do
it. 2 years later, we'll be having a committee meeting to determine how we move forward. So, a lot of people ask like what we're doing with our fact-checking organization. Yeah, we've been in filing for a year and a half. So maybe after 27 months, when all of that gets confirmed, we'll actually be able to do something. But that's how it goes. There are things you can do, but maybe a trust for it or something like that. Maybe there's like a public trust thing you can do. I don't know. Maybe you can make it so that after 100 years, the property reverts to the local jurisdiction, but it can't ever have its name changed. Something like that. But we don't even got to do $1 million property. We could probably find 50 acres and get something for just a forested 50 acres. Find something in eastern West Virginia. I bet you could find 50 acres for like 100 or 200 grand.
They like give away land in
Probably.
Kansas, though. You could probably get it cheaper.
There's
there.
parts
That's
of
true,
Detroit
too.
you can just have.
Like $1.
We should do that.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Buy a whole neighborhood.
I feel like it
let's
would
do
be
it.
even better if it's in Detroit.
What if we went into an area where there was at least 100 people and then bought up enough property to lobby those people to create a new city, a township?
Inside of it,
Well, because I think you need like 100 people to incorporate a town or something.
I'm in.
The city of Ligma Johnson.
I'm for it already. I already know some properties.
But you know the thing about buying the forested area is that you really can make it just like a park and like people can come hang out.
Well, in Detroit, though, you have pit bulls and gangs of them roving around. So
really?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been that way forever.
Are you allowed to have guns?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they
I mean,
care
even
if
if
you're
you're
allowed.
even if you're allowed to or not, you can buy one out of a paper bag. I don't know if it works, but they are around.
Oh man, what a sad story, Detroit.
Yeah, it was once called the Paris of the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah,
True, yeah.
yeah.
They called it that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
where
Now
it's
it
where
looks
the
like
car
someone
came
dropped a
from.
nuke on it.
Well, yes.
Literally.
That happened in the late '60s, and it's just sort of stayed the same. The downtown's looking nice. That's what everyone says.
Yes, it is.
It's improving.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's nice down there. Well, I wouldn't say it's improving. It's a city built for 7 million people with 700,000 living in it. So
Right.
lots of property we could buy for a town.
Infrastructure is really expensive though because of that. It's like 10 times the cost for water and stuff.
Yeah, the taxes are very pricey.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying West Virginia basically because we're out here.
Yeah.
And I've already seen property maybe like an hour west of where we're at, where it's like there's a river.
That's
and,
nice.
And some of them even
That would
have
be a
like
nice
power
addition.
conduit,
Yeah.
like power conduits or whatever. So you call the electric company and then they'll just put a meter and a
Turn
plug.
the power on.
But
And
have
they
you
could
ever
actually-
seen a frozen homeless guy in an elevator shaft that's been abandoned for years?
And we can have that, you're saying.
I'm saying you can have.
Well, now I'm sold.
I'm just trying to.
The Ligma Johnson elevator shaft. And then what we'll do is we'll immortalize the frozen homeless man with a statue at the bottom of the shaft.
and maybe he'll come to life like Encino Man.
Okay.
Except it'll
here.
just be not fun to hang out with him.
We could have a shaft cam watching all of it.
Shaft
You know what's
cam
funny?
and
It's
Ligma
like-
Johnson.
What if we do this? What if we crowdfund? What if we crowdfund a city?
Okay, I'm for it.
We buy the property and then basically open it up to whoever wants to build on it to build on it. Like there would have to be an approval process, obviously.
Yes.
Because we're going to allocate land, but someone could be like, I want to have my own store, and it's be like, the land is yours. Like we lease the land on the property to your store so long as you maintain it. We'll do rules like if at any point you give up the store for longer than a year, then the property opens up and we can lease it out to somebody else. But the goal is not for people to own Ligma Johnson. It's to create a crowd-funded city,
I feel
a
like
crowdsourced city.
Yeah.
So they can just come. They don't have to pay, and they can.
Well, it's Ligma Johnson. They're
the
going to
idea
come.
is, yes. My idea is this: if we get the property, and you come to me and say, "I want to open a gun store," we'll say, "Where? Right there. How much space do you need? I need 1 acre. Signed 1 acre for this amount of time. If you abandon the shop, then you give us the right to lease the property to somebody else so we can keep it going. But we're not taking money for it. We're just basically like, okay, first come, first serve. We're going to
I
crowdsource.
feel like that's what they did in L.A. on Skid Row. First come, first serve.
Yeah, but
Set
with-
up shop.
With it being in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to get derelict individuals because there's no stuff.
They're not
There's
going to
no-
walk that far.
No one's going to walk like it's here in the middle of the woods. No, what you're going to find is like a dude who's got time and some spare materials who's like, I could put together a little shop. That'll be cool. And then
Yeah.
when people come here, they can buy Gatorade from me. Like I'm down.
Like,
and
if
we're
you
not
could-
going to take any money for it. It's like
Yeah.
you do your thing.
Like if you're like, I want to set up a turquoise jewelry shop, we'll just kill you.
We'll let them set up their turquoise jewelry shop.
Then we'll burn it down.
No.
And you
Dave's
see this
the
lady
mayor.
is like crying. She'll look like, yeah, I'm the mayor. I'll be like, yeah, lady who looks like the old guy in Thinner.
I think trying to crowdsource
No, we
a
shouldn't
village
kill
would be
anybody,
fun.
to be clear.
You know?
I would do it.
Doctor shows up and he's like, I'll put up a little like first aid medical thing. It's like, have fun. All you really need is someone to try and organize to make sure people aren't overlapping with each other and, stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, we can't have the gun shop in the same. Well, yeah, we could.
Well, I don't know.
Right
What do you
next
think?
to the
Bowling?
liquor store.
Yeah.
You want to do it anarchy style? Just let people build whatever they want where they want?
Yeah, I mean, there's an amazing campsite that Pork Fest usually happens every year at the
We should
Rogers
also have
Campground.
Pork Fest.
That's for sale. So we could buy the campgrounds and call it the Ligma Johnson campgrounds. Right?
The Ligma Johnson campgrounds.
Yeah.
And Pork Fest once a year.
Yeah, with Pork
Yeah.
Fest once a year with the Free State.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
If we didn't, it'd be
The
rude.
meat fest.
All right,
Yeah,
we're going to
meat
go to
festival.
Super Chats. If you haven't already, would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at timcast.com. We're going to have a very fun, unfamily-friendly, members-only show coming up at 11 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Let's see what we got here. All right, what's this? Cam says, nice to see Dave back. Let's get rid of the demon babies. And when are you coming back to Raleigh for stand-up? Can't wait. Great guest, as always, Tim.
Oh, thank you. I don't know when I'm going to come back to Raleigh. I'm working on it, though, because I'm going to do another album with Helium, and I'm going to do a special. I can bring that up real quick. At the Comedy Castle in December in Detroit. Actually, we just talked about it, where it'll be the 8th and 9th of December. Come out to that. And but yeah, to be back in Raleigh, I should be there probably like middle of next year. So come out and thank you very much. And Herschel should be getting rid of the demon babies soon.
All right.
It's his main part of his secret platform.
Yeah. I heard he wants to be a werewolf now.
He does. He's like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like,
I vote for a
eat
werewolf.
all the vampires.
Yeah. Because werewolves can kill vampires, I guess. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd vote for a werewolf.
Is that Twilight?
I mean, look, Herschel's here campaigning. I don't see any vampires.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
If he goes away, Herschel could be Blade.
Stacey Abrams has been real quiet.
Daywalker. All right. Let's see. Delio Turk says they said it repeatedly. They're going after Joe. Well, good, Steph D says, I want to know who bought Hunter's artwork for $500K. Somebody who was funneling money to Hunter Biden?
Probably FTX.
It was the big guy. Yeah, right. Yep.
You can get like a Val Kilmer painting for $250.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Did you?
Stinky Whizzle Teets says, you have to admit that the green M&M is pretty sexy, even after they gave her less sexy shoes.
Agreed.
I really like Freedom Tunes making fun of
Tucker
Carlson. That was really good. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
Seamus's Tucker voice. They're making the green M&M less sexy. No, why would they do that? And then Bernie Sanders comes in, and he's like, I am so pissed off. The green M&M. Then Ben Shapiro comes in. That was a good one, Seamus. What have we here? Trident54 says, Lord Timothy, do you think it's possible that the GOP senators can convince 17 progressive senators to put identity politics above party, convict Joe Biden, and place the first woman of color in the Oval Office? Oh, perhaps. Well, I think it's more likely they amendment 25 him.
I'm with you.
Yeah, they come out and say, look, guys, Biden's brain is broken. Kamala Harris, first woman of color to be president. Let's roll. Or Kamala Harris is an insurrectionist because she funded terrorists during the 529 insurrection, and she's ineligible. So she can't run for re-election. And Joe Biden's campaign staff actually did too. So they're both disqualified. So, well, there you go.
I feel like they're saving the first woman of color president slot for Michelle Obama, though.
You think she'll run?
If they were smart, they would run Michelle Obama.
Yeah. I think Joe Rogan was saying that too, right?
Yeah, he was.
That's if they were doing that. And I just saw she did an interview where she was coming out saying, it was a real shame that she had to put her career on hold while good old Barry was in the Oval Office. Josh
Butler says, please have Seamus make a tune with Biden and Fetterman having a basic conversation. Well, I can't make Seamus do anything, but Seamus, if you're listening, a cartoon where Biden and Fetterman are having a conversation.
There's a meme of that already that exists that I shared. That's absolutely hilarious. It's the two of them looking at each other. And it's I can't even say what they said on here.
Okay. All right. What have we here? My third nut says, hey, Dave, love seeing you here and on Crowder. Also excited to see your show tomorrow. You got a show tomorrow?
Yes. Friday and Saturday, I will be in Virginia at Richmond, Virginia at the Funny Bone.
Cool.
I'm sorry, my flight landed at 4 a.m. It was very delayed, and now I'm just brain dead. But yeah, I'll be in Richmond, Virginia at the Funny Bone.
Oh, cool.
It's fun club.
Not too far from here.
Yeah.
We should go.
Come
tomorrow,
out.
what time?
Well, maybe
I'm
Saturday.
there Friday and Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
And you get tickets all you want.
Saturday, huh? Richmond's, I think, like 2.5 hours away.
That's not bad.
That could be fun. What time is the show?
I think they're 8 and 10 or 7 and 9:30. I'm not sure. I should have looked that up.
Yeah, maybe
it's
we should
in the
go.
vicinity of that, though.
How many? What's the capacity at?
I think it's like 250.
250?
200, 250.
We should sell it out.
We should. I want to sell it out. So if you guys want to come out and support me, the Funny Bone, it's in Short Pump.
I'm going to say 80% chance we're there.
I like that.
85% chance. What do you say, Lou?
Those are good odds.
Yeah, I like comedy shows.
Thank you.
Plus,
that's good odds.
We haven't gone to Richmond. I haven't been to Richmond in like 10 years.
Dude, my opener, Matt McClowery's hilarious. You're going to love it. The whole show's good.
Do they have food?
They do have food.
What kind of food?
Comedy club food. It's good. I'll
like
say it's
bar
good
food.
because I'm on air.
Do they have stuff with like cheese on top of it, like melted?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
See,
Probably.
you're not
It's
going to
like
lose
bar
out
food.
there.
90%.
It's actually, as far as comedy club food goes, it's going to be better.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we'll go. I think that'll be fun.
That'd be awesome. Let me know. You get tickets and you guys come out. I'm telling you, it's going to be a good time.
Saturday, and it's Saturday evening, so we can hang out in Richmond during the day.
Yep.
And then come up, hang out at night.
Come out.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time.
Luke said yes already.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah. Let's
So
do it.
you're
There we
100%.
go.
Maybe. I got stalkers too. We got to be careful here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a secret area we can
Yeah.
hide?
There's a secret area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then,
Secret area,
then probably.
and
yeah. Then
Virginia,
definitely, yeah.
Virginia's open carry, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I got a Desert Eagle, so that'll be fun.
Well, there you go. You're all set then.
I'll bring my Barrett.
There you go.
I do have a Desert Eagle, and they were telling me like that it's like brittle or something, like the firing pin or something malfunctions, or I don't know. They were like it's showy, but
I like how you were
50
half
AE.
listening to someone telling you that.
Yeah.
They're like, it could blow up in your hand. You're like, I'm sorry, what?
Is it a 50 AE?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
They have different calibers.
It's got like skulls on it.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and like you walk in, they're like, "This is what people have in movies," and I was like, "I'll take it."
Yeah, that's all they
And
would
they
have
were
to
like,
show
"Here's
me.
how it works." I was like, "Huh?"
I bought 2 golden guns with snakes on them, like Face Off. That's how I
You know,
shop.
have you ever if you've ever played a video game? I was at a gun shop and they had a 1911. It was really cool. It had like flowers or something. I think it was a 1911. I don't know. Maybe it was a Glock.
Oh, like
no,
the
it was a
old
Glock. It was a Glock.
Western, like almost
Roses.
Mexican. Yeah.
And then I was just like, I love making this joke where I'm like, the engravings give it like +1 accuracy. Because like anyone who's played a video game knows that like if you find a gun in the game, it's like normal, but if it has like the special engravings on it, for some reason it's got like lower recoil and like higher accuracy. Don't ask me why. But the flames coming off the back make it stronger.
Yeah.
So, that's how it works. At least in video game
true.
world. Imagine like a world where physics were that way. Where it's like, oh yes, the flame decals on the side make it fire faster with more powerful impacts.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Forgive
It's
me if I'm
style.
wrong. Isn't that like an actual thing? It's like the orcs in that 40K, Warhammer 40K. Like they believe if it's red and it's painted red, it goes faster, and they have like a psychic.
Oh,
ability
really?
that makes it faster. So I think that's literally a thing. Yeah.
In The Division, I haven't played that in a long time. It's like you'll get an M1A or something, but then like the special one, it's like got more power, faster reload time. For some reason, your hands move faster reloading it, and it'll have like engravings on the side. You can like spin it around. You gotta love how video games work. Yeah. Greg Cooper says, Tim, set up a ballot harvesting consultancy for the Republicans. You understand it, so be the change. Help them win. I'm sure your millions of viewers will happily volunteer. I would if I were in the U.S. Australia doesn't have this problem. He could be saying Austria, but I think it's Australia.
Yeah, it's Australia.
There are people who know way more about mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting than I do. So there's nothing I can really say other than like, hey, I read the news one time. No, there's a bunch of people who are like James O'Keefe probably knows way more about this stuff than I do. So.
Well, Scott Pressler just said he was going to start ballot harvesting. He said, I'm going to be the biggest ballot harvester there is in this next election.
All we need is to secure funding for his organization of Get Out the Vote and ballot harvesting where legal. And it's legal in many, many states. So in some states that have regulation, you just got to they have to sign off. So basically someone can hand you the ballot and sign something saying this person will deliver it for me, and that's legal. If that's the case, then we got to secure funding. I think we could easily pull it off.
For sure.
I think Scott's the guy to do it.
Well, that's what he said. He said, I was the best voter registration harvester there was. I'm going to start harvesting the ballots now. Let's go.
Well, yes, but we need to get him a team of like 500.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe more than that. We need volunteers in every state. He needs offices. He's going to need the Save America, Get Out the Vote pack or something, or like, Rebuild America pack. And this is what he does. I bet he could get a lot of money for that. I mean it. I'm willing to bet.
He would be the one to do it.
Peter Thiel gave a bunch of money to Blake Masters, I guess. I'm sure there's a lot of powerful patrons who would fund an operation to ensure that every vote counts and that every person has their voice heard. Democrats can't argue with that. That's what they're all about.
Yeah, they want to make sure that everybody matters.
Well, there you
That's
go.
how Joe got into office.
He matters.
The safest, most secure election ever.
The most votes ever.
Ever for a president.
Ever.
Most popular president in history.
Very popular.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
a good guy.
All right. Aaron Brandt says, support for Ligma and Sugma, two families put down and shamed through the ages.
We have the best commenters. I'm in the comment section every night. It's awesome.
Miss Lauren says, bought Lord and Lady titles for my grandchildren. Awesome gift. A tree is planted too. I gave you as a referral. Thank you. Great Xmas gift. I do think so myself. And I actually think it would be really funny. And I'm not trying to say anybody should do this, but I'm imagining I'm going to get a call from my my ads guy. And he's like, why are they hitting me up saying they've sold 3,000 Ligma Johnson lordships? It's like, well, that's 3,000 square feet that is owned by Ligma Johnson. And then someone's going to have to go to Scotland and be like, this plot of land is mine.
They're surrounding one guy's land.
There's a guy named Ligma Johnson somewhere who's like, how do I own all this land?
Yeah, it's like, this is great. Like, one day he just gets willed to him.
Like a guy finds him and he's like, are you Ligma Johnson? I am. And then he pulls out the envelope and he's like, this land is yours. And he's like, what?
Every day of my life has been pain.
Oh, man.
I finally found you, Ligma Johnson. I kind of want to buy one. So I could have the plaque that says Lord Ligma Johnson.
Oh, I'm going to, for real.
Sugma.
Somebody should buy that one too, though.
Sugma.
Sugma, I like that one.
All right. Chandy's Creation says, Dave's response to the conjecture that Nancy Pelosi takes pills. Listen to her when she walks. She sounds like a maraca. That deserves its moment in the limelight. We went to Gettysburg, and I went to a gift shop, and they had, like, designer pill containers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a little fancy metal one with, like, symbols on it. I opened it up, and it was just, like, empty with, like, a divider in the middle. And I'm like, is it because you like got to put your pills in each side and then close it and then put it in your pocket when you go around?
That's what she uses?
I guess. Maybe she got hers in Gettysburg.
It's weird that would be at a shop in Gettysburg.
They had a bunch of them. I mean,
Really?
I guess the people
like
who
there's a lot
care.
of old people who go to visit Gettysburg.
Yeah, the people
That's
who care about the
true.
Civil War are the people who remember it, you know?
Well, I went a lot.
To Gettysburg?
Yeah, my dad was a huge history buff, so I went to all those places when I was like a kid. I saw like JFK in the theater when I was 8.
Wow.
Yeah. He was in Nam.
Yeah.
He saw some stuff.
He sure did. He sure did.
Saw some stuff.
All right. Legama Thagayan says, I'm confused. What's so funny about that Ligma guy's name? You know, I don't know. It's just, it's a
I don't
meme.
know. It just works, maybe.
It's a meme. Elon Musk made a joke, you know, and so we're just laughing because we're all in on it.
Yeah. I
Doesn't
don't
mean
know.
anything.
I think Ligma Fagea is a little jealous.
Yeah. Ligma's a little out of line right now.
The guy wears shoes says, I hear the Ligma forest has great foliage.
It does. It is nice in the wet seasons as well.
Yeah.
Very moist.
Seth Weathers says, you have to visit Merry Easter, domain ending, you know the thing. MerryEaster.com? What is that? Oh, yeah, we got to get the Let's Go Brandon Christmas wrap. Seth Weathers.
Yeah.
Super chat
that's
us the other
nice.
day.
Yeah. So that's a good dude.
What was it? Do you remember the link to that? Brandon Rapper? Oh, man. Brandon rapping? I forgot the website, Seth.
Sure, you can find it. Someone in the chat will give it to us.
Yeah, someone will chat it. I think that's really great because I was saying, like, for Christmas, you give people presents in that, and it's like you're giving them a present, but if it's like one of your woke family members, you're also kind of insulting them.
Oh yeah, that's what I give it. Just MAGA paper. I'm just gonna give Trump
When they
hats.
open it, it's a picture of Trump.
Make America Great Again hats.
Did you see what I tweeted? I used the Stable Diffusion AI, and I typed in high-res photo of Donald Trump with bulging muscles and a hot bod.
Oh, it's so good.
And it
It's so
actually
good.
made it. And I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. So I screenshotted it and posted it with hashtag MAGA. And like leftists thought it was real. Like they thought that I was seriously, I don't know what they thought. They were like, this guy likes Trump. I'm like, dude, I'm making fun of him. Like it is a joke.
I don't think they understand how to take anything as a joke. Like I don't think they get humor. A lot of them.
They
like,
don't.
It just eludes them. Like the fact that you typed in something so specific, and Google was like, "Here you are."
No, it was Stable Diffusion.
Or, yeah. Sorry,
So
they were like, "Here you go."
an AI generated that image
for you.
and it's Donald Trump on like Arnold's body.
He looks great.
Yeah, and it looks
Yeah,
oddly real.
I know.
Yeah. Looks too. I like the Rand Paul one.
Yeah, I did Ron Paul. I said
Ron-
Ron Paul saving puppy, high-res photo of Ron Paul saving puppies from a disaster.
Yeah.
And he's holding
Yeah,
a
just
bunch of
holding
puppies.
a bunch of puppies.
somebody commented, they were like, Tim, it's an AI. You can't actually increase the resolution. And I'm like, my guy, it's a style. When you Google search high-res photo, you get a particular kind of image. When you tell the AI, what it does is it looks at what the internet has and then tries to create a facsimile of it. I know the resolution won't be increased by it, but it tries to make it look like how they look. If you type in something like Ron Paul saving puppies, I got a cartoon. Mm-hmm. You know, I did Joe Biden as Superman, and it was like a very crude drawing of Joe Biden. I'm like, okay, so I need high-res photo, and then it makes it, you know.
I hope that we get Terminators, and that's who they start sending back.
Yeah, you know,
Just random stuff like that.
Well, we made a T-shirt. It's actually pinned in the chat right now. It's Super MAGA. I typed into the AI Donald Trump going Super Saiyan, and you know, when like Goku and his hair like turns blonde.
I gotta get one of those for real.
Yeah, we sold I think we've sold a couple thousand of them already. But I made it as a joke, and then when Donald Trump announced, I was like, oh, I mean, like, yeah, we have this Kamagamaga. And he's yelling, and his hair is golden, like, you know, Goku. So
yeah, that's a good one.
But the AI made it. I thought it was cool.
I feel like there's a lot of boomers who are going to wear that unironically.
Yeah, I actually, this is crazy because I tweeted the image out because I thought it was funny. And then I've seen people start posting it in their profile pictures and on Instagram and stuff. Like, they really think it's funny. And I'm like, okay, well, you can buy it, you know, and wear it. And it's hilarious. You know, the funny thing is, I went to a bar and they had one of those flags where Trump is riding a velociraptor with like an Uzi or something.
Yeah.
And there's like explosions all around him.
Oh,
Yes,
that
yeah.
one's the best.
Stuff like that. And then I'm just like, these leftists see these pictures online and they're like, it's a cult. And I'm like, no, dude, they're self-aware. You're not.
Right.
The fact that you think they're in a cult proves you're in a cult. Because they
Seriously.
know it's stupid. They know they're joking about Trump being an old man, and they're making like, they're not mocking Trump so much as they're laughing at a meme about Trump.
Right.
You know, this depiction of him as riding a dinosaur or
Well, it's
something.
even like him and Putin shirtless on a horse. You're not actually getting angry about it. Like, there's no reason to. It's just funny.
Right. Yeah, when they make stuff like that and they're like, haha, you're offended. And I'm like, nah, that's pretty funny.
No, it's good. I think you landed it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, this hurts your whole day. I'm like, not at all. You threatening to kill me every time I make a joke? That hurts my day.
Yeah. I mean, even
Not
then,
really,
though,
it
yeah,
doesn't,
it's
but
like,
you know what I
keep
mean,
crying
like-
into the wind.
Like,
They
you
could
guys-
never do that stuff with Biden, though. They could never make a photo of Biden with explosions riding a velociraptor and, on a tank, and it works.
They tried with Dark MAGA.
Oh, the Dark Brandon stuff.
Dark
I
Brandon.
didn't
Sorry.
understand that they were taking that seriously, but they genuinely try to say it like it's a good thing. Like, oh, Dark Brandon wins again.
But they don't get it. Like, Donald Trump is an arrogant blowhard. So making images of him wearing like golden armor with a giant spear and iron fists is like you're making fun of this idea.
Or him as Eazy-E. Just stuff like that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it all works.
When you do it with Biden, you're like, it doesn't work because what would make Biden funny is him wearing like, those pajamas that would cover your whole body, but with the butt
Long
flap.
The ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like Joe Biden wearing that and like fumbling about would be a funny
a
example.
candlestick and a nightcap and going to bed.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah, like that is like a way to depict Joe Biden because you're exaggerating what people say about him.
Yeah, staying in a basement, never debate, stuff like that. You have to make fun of, and then you exaggerate it. That's why it's funny about Trump, because he can be ridiculous. You personify that and multiply by 1,000.
We got a good one from James Derryberry. He says, Ligma Johnson hardwood preservation. Quote, I wish a million seeds. That nailed it. We should definitely call it the Ligma Johnson hardwood preservation.
I'm down.
Yeah, that's really good.
And it'll be cool because we can actually build like a pavilion there and then do events.
Yeah, and that'll be made of the hard wood, the very hard wood we promise to preserve. And
That's
every
right.
time we take down some wood, we plant new wood.
Yeah, we always want more wood.
Yeah, we're not going to just leave, we're just going to take wood and let it not grow again.
Yeah.
We're not
Yes.
monsters. Come on, guys.
Lars Job says, my paternal grandpa had full-on Parkinson's in the late 80s, but somehow was still allowed to keep his license in Cali. Rode shotgun with him to his avocado grove along Winding Canyon Road 6 months before it was revoked. White knuckles and a change of drawers for me.
That's not a good story.
Yeah, I've ridden in a car with some older family members, and I look legit. You're going like whoa, a lot.
Yeah, my grandma had like a sunfire, and I'm not sure if she hit people. I just remember being very scared as a child. She was insane.
For some reason, I'm too afraid to get in cars these days.
I like driving. I do. I like cars. I always have. But yeah, there's just a lot of old people who. Some are sharp though, but sometimes you just got to give the Gran Torino to the Asian neighbor boy.
Here's something interesting. Scroats McGoat says, Luke, I was banned on Twitter 5 years ago. I appealed last week and was reinstated Tuesday.
Sweet. Congrats.
Welcome back to the party.
Woo.
William Tresh says, Dave, Frankenstein is the name of the doctor. The monster's name is John Fetterwoman.
You are absolutely right. I'm sorry.
And actually, I don't know if that's true, that meme where they're like, Frankenstein was the name of the doctor. The monster was called Frankenstein's monster. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the monster was called Frankenstein.
I think it was. Well, and the people in the city turned out to be the monster. I mean, that was really the thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Well.
But now it's the guy.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
For sure. But, then it was the people who didn't accept the monster, who was made by a lightning bolt.
That's true. That's
and
very
body
true.
parts
And then he got a
that
wife.
dug up.
Raymond
Yeah.
G. Stanley Jr. says, Ashley, say water, coffee. You got a Northeast.
Oh, they always do this to me. They did this to me last time. They said, what did someone say? They said, she sounds like she's from New Jersey. I want her to be mean to me. One of your commenters.
Why? Because when you say water and coffee?
Water. Coffee.
I have no idea.
Where are you from?
Is that coffee?
I live in New York City.
Yeah, she's got. Is that where you're from though? Born?
Yeah, my
New
mom
York.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
So she always...
You have the coffee
Well,
talk.
my mom's from New York and she's Jewish, so I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, you're gonna get that gene. What's your dad?
All right.
He's French.
Is he?
He's French.
Okay.
Do you speak
And
French?
like very, very white.
Okay.
No, I don't speak French.
Oh, we got a good one here from
Do you speak Jewish?
Noah Zork. He says, if you build a private
Israeli.
airfield, you can name it Ligma Landing
There you
Strip.
go.
So we'll get the land, we'll put a landing strip on it, and it'll be the Ligma Landing Strip.
Well, yeah, we have to be able to get planes in.
That's right.
I feel like we need a carpet cleaners too.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining how we're like laughing how stupid this is, and then like 100 years later, there's like this resort called the Ligma Johnson Family Retreat on this like privately owned land that's open to the public.
Well, we have to have a fire department, but they can't shoot water. It's all the foam.
I went to there's this resort near Pittsburgh called Nemacolin, and it's the family that did 84 Lumber. And they like when you go in there, there's this little section where they have a documentary playing, like explaining the life of the guy who founded it. Like it would just be funny if you had that, and it's like showing pictures of like the show, and it's like in the year 2022, several personalities were speaking at a table and decided to make a joke about fellatio, and then they got people to donate money to buy this land that you're on now.
Which is why the planet is now called Ligma Johnson.
Yeah, it's like 100 years later, there's like a civil war, and then they use that as like the main base. It becomes the capital of the resistance. And then when they win, they're just like the boundaries expand. And then before anybody realized it, it's like, did you know there's a bunch of roads in Iraq that are named after like football players and things like that?
Is it really?
Yeah, because what I heard was that when in Afghanistan too, when U.S. troops went there and they started driving and creating paths, they didn't have names. So they would just be like, Brett Favre. Or something like that. Like, what can we call it? And they'll be like, take a ride on Favre. And so then they ended up making roads based off of sports players or things they knew.
Yeah.
So like, Ligma Johnson is where everyone lives. And then someone builds a farm, not realizing they're expanding the boundaries, but they just say, I live in Ligma Johnson. And then just because of the natural flow of human expansion, 100 years later, it's just like the country of Ligma Johnson.
Yeah,
That's true.
This is the Jack Me Off resort.
Right.
And then like
That's the town of anal fishers that grew up next door.
that one is just very direct.
Yes. Well, that was. It's like the Hatfield and McCoys, though. This is what starts the whole Civil War.
The anal fissures. What a very important episode.
They're very uncomfortable people.
Andrew Hughes says, remember when San Francisco News also got stung with Asiana plane crash? Pilots Captain Somting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Holy Fook, Bang Ding Ao. Yeah, Luke brought that up. Yeah, but we'll read that one. Matt Bayer says, shout out to Grindstone Ministries and Bayer Independent for doing what FEMA isn't in Oklahoma. Right on.
Yeah, that's true.
Daniel Welch says, Ligma Johnson Forest must have a natural geyser.
Yes.
We're going to Wyoming.
It goes
boys.
off.
Could you
all the
imagine if
time.
like the founding fathers were just sitting there like writing things down and laughing about it like this? Like, and then we're going to tell them that, everybody gets to vote.
It's all John Hancock. He's like, I got them all.
Let me get your John Hancock.
Come on. It's not even your name. I know, but we're going to do it like this.
Mr. Mick Jones, Ligma Johnson candle scent morning wood. This whole episode is basically just us talking about Ligma Johnson.
And it all started right before we said people are too stupid to vote.
Oh, we've proved it.
Well, no, to actually, make the point, we know what a joke is.
Yes.
They don't. Like,
some
Brenda Joy Gray is a progressive. She didn't understand that they were joking. Like, it's crazy. NPC meme all the way, man.
She's going to have a lot of content from this episode.
Yeah, we would do that with video announcements in high school. I mean, that's just like anybody should know what that is, you know?
Like, how do you not know that joke?
And she's like, I don't understand why there'd be a name like that.
Let's read one last super chat. Chrissy Starsky saying, how about the Ligma Johnson finishing school for young ladies?
I saw that one. I'm like, I'm not reading that one.
All right, everybody. If you haven't already, would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at timcast.com. We're going to have a members-only show coming up for you, uncensored, not family-friendly. I have a very short song to play for you when we start the members-only show that you're not going to want to miss, and it will give you a good laugh. And then we'll talk about some cultural issues. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member. And Ashley, do you want to shout anything out?
Nope, except the Babylon Bee. And you can also find me on Twitter at St Clair Ashley.
Of course, Louder with Crowder, and then you can check me out in December at the Comedy Castle, the 8th through 10th, recording my special at Prison 10.
Where were you going tomorrow?
And tomorrow, the next 2 days, I will be at Short Pump in Virginia at the Richmond Funny Bone.
Sweet. Dave, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. We should, Ashley as well. This was incredible. This was really very, very serious show. I love to have such professional shows here. It's my jam. But my YouTube channel is We Are Change. I just did a Biden-Fetterman short on there. I did a really interesting video earlier. And yes, we do have a Ligma Johnson t-shirt. We do have, of course, the Biden-Fetterman t-shirt, all available on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. This is how you guys support me and my efforts here, so I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you again so much for having me.
Thanks, guys, for coming. That was good to laugh. Kind of don't get that too much in this line of work. My name's Serge.com. Thanks, guys.
We will see you all over at timcast.com, just about an hour or so. Thanks for hanging out.
Cheers.